Do you want to change the way you look and feel? A lot of people do. And sometimes...
Namely, like how you feel, I would say. Like feeling better.
Quality of life.
Yeah, I mean, like, yes, sleeping better, like hot flashes.
Gaining weight, hard to lose weight, storing belly fat because your cortisol levels are too high.
Number one, lack of energy.
Yeah, lack of energy. You're tired all the time. All this could be hormone problems, and that's why you should talk to Dr. Powers at myeternalvitality.com.
Here's the easiest thing. At-home test.
Yeah.
Do it in your spare time. You send it away. Then you meet with him. He's super nice. His staff is super nice. Andrea loves him. Like, my wife goes there.
She's been using them for a while now.
She has, and she's been dialing it in. Like, okay, we made some progress. Well, it's time to make a little more, make a tiny little more adjustment.
Yeah.
And she's getting some relief in some of those hormone problems that I know plague ladies. You know, it's tough.
And for the fellas out there, you could have extremely low testosterone. It's an easy test.
I like that you said fellas. That is the oldest man thing you said. But he's right. He's right, fellas.
And then you could be tired all the time. You feel like garbage. You're just your body's storing fat because your chemicals are off.
Dr. Powers can help you with like nutrition too. Like, look.
Medically guided weight loss.
Yeah, he's going to want to hit it from a truly medical, like, I want to change my life scenario. Like, Andrea's doing a lot of that stuff too. She's doing some intermittent fasting. She's changed her diet based on a plan that Dr. Powers can guide you through.
When I went and saw Dr. Powers, he's got this machine that'll measure your muscle to fat ratio.
Yeah.
And then as you see Dr. Powers, then you start, you get on the machine again every, quarter, and then you can see your results and check to see if you're losing fat, gaining muscle, which you want to do.
It's cool.
And the greatest thing is it's free to talk to him, free consultation for all Tom and Dan listeners.
Yeah.
So,
and much like any of the stuff we tell you about, like whether it's Brian Zymel, the Bart Merrick team, or our good friend Dr. Powers, if it's not for you, he's just going to tell you. It's super simple. Like, it doesn't...
He's not going to hard sell you on any of this. He's just like, all right, here's... You take
Shed latte, all of them. If it's not for you, it's just not for you.
You take a scientific test to see where you're at, and then you go from there.
Yeah,
and
he'll
then
tell you.
if he's like, all right, it's not a hormone problem, it's something else.
Yeah.
So go and talk to him. There's a free online quiz at myeternalvitality.com, but he's great. So go on his website, talk to him, free consultation. Again, myeternalvitality.com.
Welcome back. I see. That's from earlier. That was a joke. I set you up for that. I said, why don't you do it with full intention of bringing us back?
You know where you're at.
I like that. Maybe that's the one for 2025.
You know where you're at?
Yeah, like, so we start. Hold on.
You know what you're listening to.
I'm dead serious. So we start when it comes ding, 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 ding. You know where you're at.
So, a lot of you downloaded this.
Why are you here?
Yeah, you know exactly what you're listening to.
I do like that. I like the, you know why you're here. Okay, so this was your idea. Walk me through it.
Oh, it's just old school taking calls.
I love it. Nobody does it anymore. I listen to real radio. I'm the only one of us out of the two that still listens to real radio.
How dare you? Why would you say that? I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
You don't have any time. You're in the business
I listen
department.
all the time.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
I know every character, all the things.
I know you do. So going along with that, when I do listen, one of the things that I miss from the older school and when I started to cut my teeth in radio was the phone calls. You know, you're interacting with the public. People don't really do that. Like, most radio shows don't really do that anymore. In fact, we've really never done that. We've always kind of done the voicemail deal. And when you listen to any other podcast, whether it's a famous comedian or anything,
they don't take calls.
They do voicemails. They do the same thing we do.
Yeah. It is more efficient because a lot of times when you take live calls, people forget what they're saying. They get nervous. Yeah. They a lot of niceties up front. They get distracted.
Well, a lot of ours are like, hey, Tom and Dan, I just wanted to call in and just say, hey, man, over this Christmas break and everything, it's just damn great having all these new shows and everything. I just want to tell you how much I love you and just tell you I hope you had a good holiday. That never gets old. It really never gets old having somebody thank me.
Yeah.
I masturbate to those.
It's hard to play those, though, because there's nowhere to go with
No,
it.
I play them for myself.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I like
that.
to
Receive
like,
it.
I don't want people thinking that if they do that it falls on deaf ears. It does not.
So, but I wanted to take phone calls about no topic, just...
Hey, can I clarify something?
Yeah.
I don't masturbate to that. I just want to clarify because I was a little aggressive.
I wonder why you said it.
Yeah. We have a caller on line 1.
Yeah.
You wanted to do calling. Caller, what is your name, sir?
What's up, Tom and Dan? This is Charles. How y'all doing?
Charles, what's up, buddy?
Charles.
This is Charles. This is our friend Charles. I think Charles got mad at me one time on email.
Oh,
He said,
did you?
yeah. I had to email Charles back and say, like, you got to knock this crap off, Charles.
Okay, why did you get
I
mad
said,
at you?
you're acting like a child. Did I not say that, Charles?
What happened?
Something like that.
Yeah.
It was just that Tom or Dan put my name out there on Facebook. I was anonymous for a reason. Because people like to talk smack and come at you.
I outed him as an anonymous.
I don't want to be aggressive with nobody or anything like that.
And then we minced words, and he yelled at me, and I yelled at him. But we're good now. We're good now.
Oh, so you made an anonymous post on the BDM Facebook page?
And then underneath it, I wrote, "This is Charles."
How'd you know?
Because I'm the guy.
Oh,
I'm the leader of the group.
He gets to see all the people.
Yeah, I can see everybody.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that anymore.
Mine comes up as anonymous. I don't know where. I didn't know you can now see who it is.
You just click on the name, and it just says the name. And I'm like, oh, it's Charles. And I'm like, this is Charles.
I've always wanted to know. I see
Charles
anonymous.
got mad. Then Charles got mad, and then he yelled at me, and I yelled at him via email, and then we went silent. We had to have the silent cooling off period, and now we're best friends. That's how it works. That's how men do it. That's how a man does it.
What was
Hey, listen, I wanted to talk about something.
Yeah,
I don't
please.
know if you guys have ever talked about this, but
Is it the Gulf of America?
Thought about what your rap names would be?
What are rap
you were
names?
rappers, let's say the 90s,
Okay.
before, you became radio people, you decided to be rappers like, I don't know, Kid and Play or
I had
something
one.
like that. Have you ever thought about that?
I had a rap name. My buddy Dave, that I was just talking about off air, who is now battling the L.A. fires, although he just rented his house and he's fled to Paris because he's a weak man.
It has nothing to do with the fires.
It didn't have anything to do with the fires. He wanted to take his family there. Hold on, let me grab this call. Grabbing calls while you're talking, it's hard. It's a harder. Radio is harder than podcasting. I'm going to say it.
There's a lot more going on.
It's a lot more going on. I'm going to say, caller, I just picked up your phone. Just hold the line. Charles, we're talking to Charles now. Just hold the line. We'll get to you. What was the question again? Sorry.
What were your rap names?
Oh, I had one.
What's your rap name?
My name was, you could laugh, Mac Trigger. Yep, there we go. Mac Trigger.
I thought it would be ATL Youngboy because you're an Atlanta Falcons.
Okay, ATL Youngboy. I like that better. ATL Youngboy is better.
I'd go with my original AOL screen name, Twain 305.
Dude, Twain 305 works because of the 305.
Oh, yeah. That's because...
Yeah, Mr. 305.
It works. Twain 305 works. Twain 305 and Mac Trigger present.
That was because some other of my coworkers at Substantial Subs in Miami... called me Twain.
Why does Mark Twain?
Because in their mind, Mark Twain was the whitest person, and I was the only white person around.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, Mark Twain.
Hey, it's Samuel Clemens. That's his real name. Well, Charles, that was a good question, buddy. Charles, great question. Great question, man. We got another call. We're going to keep it moving, all right?
All right, buddy.
All right, man. You too, man. Love to the wife. Be good, buddy. All right, hold on. We got another guy here. Caller, you're on Tom Van Conversations.
Media.
What was that, robot?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, now we got you. Okay, yes.
Now I got you.
Now I know why people do voicemails. Yes, continue.
Oh, yeah, I want to guess one of them 6 things.
Oh, this is good. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, no.
Hold on. You pause. You pause right now, and you got to let me wear you out for a second. If you're gonna call up and you go and do one of them 6 things, you got to have you got to have a secondary thing loaded because you know for a fact I'm gonna call your bluff. You know I am. I'm not gonna just let you go or cut it out. I'm gonna say, okay, guess the 6 things. Guess what? I don't effing care anymore.
And we're taking the power away. Didn't you know? You've listened to us long enough.
Come on.
To know that you're not gonna get us with. I'm going to guess one of the 6 things, and we're not going to be like, oh, flush.
And guess what just happened? I just got you. I just got you so bad right up your pee hole.
It was the only thing I could think of fast enough to be able to call in.
That's fair. That's fair.
Right,
I appreciate your participating. Let's just have a conversation with this man.
Are you at work right now, sir?
I'm at work right now. Yeah, actually, I'm Ricky. I'm the podcast media on the chat.
Oh, Ricky, what's up, buddy? Hey, he sent us some T-shirts.
Hey,
I think somebody stole our T-shirts.
Yeah, actually, I'm calling I'm calling the post office now, trying to figure it out, and I think y'all were taking live calls, so I wanted to call in real fast.
Well, brother, we appreciate you, and we got to get him in.
What do you do again?
He does a podcast.
Well, I just do a podcast as a fun thing. I actually I do manufacturing. I build the lifts that go on the back of the garbage trucks that pick up the trash cans.
No, that's interesting.
Tom doesn't have those because he lives in a more.
That is a weird job Wednesday right there. Perfect.
It is. That is a good one, man. Like, email me. I would love to talk to you about that. Now, Tom lives in an area that's a little disenfranchised, and they still have human laborers throwing the trash in the back.
It's old school.
Classic.
They got the guys on the back of the truck still?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I like that, though.
The trucks are from 1930.
I like
that's awesome.
Old school. I don't like the new school robot. There's no...
everything's Elon Musk these days with the robot taxi.
It's like ordering your fast food on a kiosk. I like the old school human-to-human confusion. I like the staring into the eyes of a person who hates their life and wondering why the customer service isn't better.
Thank you for calling Tom Van's Vanversations. Who's this?
This is Ryan.
Hi, Ryan. Thank you. Tom will now take your call. What's on your mind?
I had a used elliptical I was looking to sell for $175.
All right. What area of town are you in right now? I'm going to write this down. What area of town?
Union Park.
Union Park.
Okay.
Right,
now we're doing radio?
This is how you do it. Do you know how to do it? You got to write down the area.
Okay. Use elliptical. How much?
Are you looking to trade or just are you looking to only get money?
I'll take $175, and I'm open to trades for Epiphone guitars or small caliber handguns.
Okay. Hold on. Epiphone. This guy knows. This guy knows what he's doing. In fact, I'll send you a prize if you'll email me because this guy knows Tradio. Epiphone guitars, and what was the other one?
Small caliber handgun.
Small caliber handgun.
Okay, small handgun.
So like a little 22?
Yes.
And give me a number that, not a phone number, but we're going to assign you the number 008. So anyone in the greater Orlando area looking for an elliptical.
Well, what age is it? How old is that elliptical?
Yeah, what are we looking at here?
I bought it approximately a year and a half ago. It's gently used. Right now, it serves primarily as a clothes hanger.
Okay, very good. And this is how they do it in Martinsville, Virginia, where I'd listen to this. The guy would hang up and he'd go, okay, well, that is Union Park, number 008. If you are in need of an elliptical, $175. He's also looking to trade either for an Epiphone guitar or possibly other small handguns. Again, Union Park, number 008. Then someone would call in later and they'd be like, "Hey man, I'm here about that 008." Okay, we'll put you on. We'll put you on hold and connect the dots. And then they put the guy on hold and then they connect the dots. Do we have another one? Hold on. Oh no, we don't. Phones are dry. That's the problem. Phones are dry. That's the problem.
Yeah. Oh, we gotta fill time. Oh God. Here we go.
Hey, thanks for calling Tradio. This is Dan speaking. Your number 006. You now have the line. Please continue.
Hey, Tom, Dan, this is Brandon, first time, long time. Appreciate you taking my call. I'm calling to let you know that the Costco gas station on Causeway, they still have gas, so anybody affected by the fires, they can certainly come over to the Costco on Causeway.
Okay, thank you so much. Again, this is where are you located?
Costco on Causeway.
Costco on Causeway.
They have gas.
They still have gas.
Yeah, so if you're affected by the Palisades fires, come over to Tampa. The Costco and Causeway, we still got gas.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
We got another one. Let's
True
go to
American hero.
Let's go to line 2. How are the fires affecting you, and do you have gas? Caller, you have the line?
My God. I want to know if you guys have said anything to each other that was particularly funny that you remember, because I have one that Tom did back in the radio days and one that Dan did recently.
Hold on.
Can I pause you for 1 second? I want to give an award to all of our callers for understanding the assignment and doing what the F they were supposed to do. I am saluting them. I have there's another one right here. Sir, hold the line. I'm going to come back to you, sir, but hold the line. Thank you for calling.
Okay.
How are the fires affecting you, and and do you have gas, sir?
The fires are affecting me extremely strongly and making me incredibly depressed. I think I might go onto Facebook and talk about it.
Okay, thank you so much. And then let's go back to our other caller. You're back on the line. And have we ever said anything to each other?
Hold on. You asked us a question. Have we ever said anything to each other that is funny? And if so, do you remember?
No.
That's what I heard. I actually heard you say.
That's all we try to do every day.
Have you and Tom ever said anything funny, and do you remember it? And that's why I was like, well, this guy's awesome. This guy's low-key just spraying bullets all in our face.
And the worst part about it, I was racking my brain to remember.
You're like, I don't think I have. Okay.
So what did you remember?
This was back. Tom's one was way back in the radio days, and he was talking about this commercial that was about this cream that women rub on their hoo-ha to lighten it up.
Don't say that.
And someone says, why does someone need that? And Tom responded, I don't know. Sometimes it looks like a manatee with two red frisbees in flips. And then,
a manatee with two what?
Red frisbees in its lips.
Okay, I like that. A manatee with two red.
I think Bubba was on and he lost it.
Oh, of course, because Bubba was a total pervert and would have loved that joke. I would like to throw this out there. Hold on, I got to write that down. That's our new T-shirt. It's a manatee with two frisbees in its mouth. Hold on, I'm doing a sticker this afternoon. Manatee. This has been the best segment. I've needed this. This is like a shot in the arm. Manatee.
This is why we have this back to me and Daniel's first love is radio. Live calls.
I forgot what radio was. He's like, this is back to what that thing that Tom and Dan and I used to do.
I talked so much S, and I forgot that I loved it.
All right. Well, thank you. What was mine? Did you have one for me?
I think you had Seth on, and he was talking about, like, being tough, and Seth was like, I give them water breaks, and you said, oh, you did a Japanese voice, and he was like, you make them soft. You make a pussy boy.
Not allowed to do that.
And Tom lost it on that one.
Yeah, Tom loves a good Asian voice.
Something like that, which was very funny.
Yeah, Tom loves that.
So those were the two times you guys were funny.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Try to keep it up.
We will. Thank you for calling. We appreciate it.
Speaking of that, the other day we were sitting at dinner, and then we're silent.
The Vans
Crystal likes to talk, but the boys, everyone's silent. And then Tommy out of the middle of nowhere just goes, dun, 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 dun. I'm like, what?
Turning Japanese. He's masturbating.
Then I'm like, watch him make that sound. And he's like, that's Becca's ringtone.
Oh, no.
Anyway, we got another caller?
Oh, yeah, we do. Hey, thanks for calling Tom Van's Vanversations. What's on your mind?
Yeah, this is Merchman. I was wondering what color shirt you wanted for the manatee shirt.
Okay, this is something that's very, very sad, but I have to point it out. The only way that Eric Merchman will ever get us to reply to anything is if he calls the show. And it's real sad. It's real sad. He puts his heart into this stuff.
All he wants us to do is
answer his goddamn emails, and we can't do it.
He's trying to help us.
Yeah, so he calls under an assumed name. He's like, if I were to make a shirt, what color would you want? I'm going to go, I'd like a light blue.
Yes, Blue Springs blue.
Yeah, I like a light blue with a gray manatee, two pink frisbees in its mouth to make it look like labia.
Done.
All right.
I'll get Pabone to draw it.
All right, thank you, Merchman. We love you, buddy.
All right, cool. Thanks.
See you. Let's go to this one. Oh, God, they hung up. Let's go. Oh, they hung up. Okay, we're done.
They'll come back.
They'll come back.
We should have asked Eric about his rabbit. See how his rabbit's doing.
I don't mention it anymore. After I said what I said, I hurt his feelings. There they are. So this is the problem with callers.
Yeah. So
you need a screener. We need a hot girl in here.
Yes, that's it.
All right, don't hang up. Who is this, and how are the fires affecting you, and where's the gas?
This is Keyed Up.
What's up, buddy?
I don't know anything about the fires because I have my own problems in Disney World.
Gotcha.
I want to know if we're going to get any more T-shirts. Can we get a T-shirt about this?
We're working on a manatee one with labia frisbees in it. Did you not hear any of the stuff we were talking about?
We're working on it.
Thank you for calling. How are the fires affecting you, and where's the gas?
Hi, my name is Barry Bloomsman, and I just wanted to call and tell you that I think this bit is stupid, and I won't be listening anymore ever.
No.
That's not true. That's not true.
Why'd you have a digital drummer?
Barry Bloomsman.
Barry Bloomsman.
Yeah. But Barry, you have every time you speak, you have a digital drummer hitting the digital snare.
I swear it's Barry Bloomsman. Listen.
He has a cheap cell phone. Poor Barry. Oh, God.
You know what? Speaking of bad connections,
that guy's hiding in his cubicle right now, pretending. He's like hiding. How stupid do you feel when you do it, and then no one is around you, and you just did that, and we didn't laugh, you didn't laugh. It was an exchange of energy that did nothing.
We can have AI write us and show us a movie that we just made up, and you bring that up a lot. Well,
you can't wait for that, can you?
I'm just.
What's going to be the first movie you make AI write for you?
I'm just trying to explain the most crazy technology that we have now, and we still have phones that have bad reception, which is weird to me.
That was Jackal. Trolling us.
Okay,
we have another call. Thanks for calling, Tom and Dan. Who's this?
Hey, yo, guys. This is SJ.
Hey SJ, what's going on, buddy?
Well, first off, for the radio, just let everybody know there's a speed trap on Turnpike just before Beach Line heading north. So watch out, everybody.
Good to know. Flash your lights. But, it's not illegal, contrary to what people try to tell you. You can flash your lights.
But I'll give y'all a quick, funny story I think y'all laugh about.
All right.
Had a stupid Grinch in my neighborhood. So, got the little Christmas gift, and we used it towards a new 50-inch TV for one of the bedrooms. Come home after it said it was delivered. TV's gone. Somebody snatched it.
Hold on, stole it off your front porch?
Stole it right off of the front of my house. So, contacted Target and all them. They were great. Refunded me all my money. Gave me back the gift card and everything. 3 days later, I'm walking my little doggy. 4 houses down, I see the same TV box sitting out in the trash. Walk by and look down, and the stupid Grinch was not smart enough to take the mailing label off.
Really?
Oh, Ashley, this is huge, dude.
Okay, so you were walking your dog, and one of your neighbors had the TV they stole from you out by the trash, and it had your shipping label on it, so obviously it was yours.
Yep, so looked at that, saw it was mine, turned around, walked my dog back home, grabbed this nice little piece of driftwood I called my fish, went down there, knocked on the door.
Well, hold on. Pause for a second. Pause for a second. Because this is where it took a turn. Because I think most people are like, I was walking my little dog. I walked home, and I called the authorities. And I waited patiently. I was sipping on some sleepy time tea as the cops made their way to my house. And when they got here, we all walked down. Well, actually, I stayed at home because it could be a violent situation. But you went down and just got yourself a board and walked down there with your, quote, the fish? You're going to beat someone with a board you call the fish?
Why do you call it the fish?
I have a piece of... Well, it's a piece of driftwood, because y'all remember, I'm from the woods.
Oh, I know you are.
I don't play by the city rules.
No.
So it's just an old piece of driftwood, about 4 feet long.
You ever been beat to death with driftwood?
On it one day. Yeah, I'll have to show y'all one day. But yeah, went down there, knocked on the door. Guy opened it up. I looked at him, I said, I'm going to give you one chance, motherfucker.
No, you're fine. It's worth it. It was worth it. It was 100% worth it.
And I said, give me back my TV, walk it back to my house with me, put it down, get the hell off my property, and if you don't, I'm going to introduce you to my fish.
Hold on. It's like a Buford Pusser movie. Walking Tall. Buford Pusser is. You remember Buford Pusser?
Also, you nicknamed, your implement of violence the least scary name that I can think of.
I feel like that's why you know it's real, though.
I'm going to get you with the fish. So what did he do?
He politely unplugged my TV and walked it back down here to my house.
He didn't try to...
And then we had a nice... Oh, no, he didn't try. He knew because when I was telling him, I kind of pointed towards the box, and I think he kind of realized, oh, duh.
And you beat him to death with a You beat him to death, didn't you? You can say
I still have the blood in my hands.
Yeah, I'm standing here. I'm washing my blood in the creek.
And they're like, oh, no, our ice maker. Oh, sorry, what?
Well, yeah, no, we just had a man-to-man, and understand he ever comes close to my property again. You know,
you're going to beat him to death with a piece of driftwood.
Yeah. Called the fish.
Yeah, you're
now,
getting the fish.
Aren't you, SJ, concerned about this is your neighbor, and you're going to have to see him every once in a while, and then you've had this exchange, this awkward exchange?
Remember the fish! You're like waving over
where
to
he stole. No. That doesn't make you awkward. You're driving, and then you see him. You're like, oh, God, there he is.
Yeah, you go outside for like a smoke or something. He sees you, you see him. Like,
it's awkward.
Weird. Yeah.
No. I mean, I'm kind of person, I think I know one house around me. Other than that, we don't know each other, and nobody talks to know each other.
Yeah. No, St. Cloud rules.
I only talk to one man, and they fear the fish.
You know St. Cloud rules.
Yeah, St. Cloud rules.
State of mind.
Well, that is a good story, man. We're glad you're okay. I, personally, as your friend, I would prefer you not get in those type of situations. But you are a good countryman, and you're going to do it your way. I get it. And, I'm proud of you for standing up for your TV.
I also like how $100 turned into almost $800.
Yeah, there you go. That's how you do it.
Hold on. Well, how did the money?
And also, listeners, don't forget, like and subscribe on YouTube.
No.
Okay. He's out. There he goes, your pro.
That's from the fish.
The fish says, like and subscribe or get beat to death by driftwood. That's what we should say on our YouTube channel. That's SJ. He helps out with our YouTube channel.
SJ... It doesn't sound like it, but knows more about technology 100 times more than I do.
Yeah, he knows a lot of stuff.
Which doesn't make any sense, but that's 100%.
Yeah, he gets tired of working with computers. Sometimes you got to get the blood on your hands to remember where you've been, right? That kind of stuff.
All right, it's been pretty good, I think.
That was not bad.
Yeah,
okay, so this is something...
We'll do it again in the future.
In 2025, we'd like to roll this out a little bit more, where we just open the phone lines and we do old school radio.
Yeah, maybe we'll always do it Thursday at 1. Because I feel like people need appointment listening. That's a thing.
Yeah, if we set it up, if you have a question or if you want to call in and interact with us live, I mean, you can do that. It's a real thing. So Thursdays at 1 p.m.
We're just going to take live calls.
Yep, 1-844-TOMNDAN. We will not be taking voicemails, so don't leave them as voicemails. If you have a voicemail, you can still leave those. Those are great. We have one more.
Okay.
One more?
Yeah.
All right, last one. You want to be the last caller?
Yeah, I got two things. Number 008, does he accept small caliber black powder?
You know what? I can put you offline to have that discussion with 008.
Again, hold on, I got one more thing.
Well, real quick, let me reset.
One more thing. I know you don't like doing breaking news and stuff.
Yeah, please.
Michael Jackson is dead.
Okay.
Oh my God!
Thank you, sir, for letting us know that again.
The molester.
Yeah, that is 008 in Union Park. He has an elliptical, and he's looking for small caliber handguns or for trade or what was the other thing?
$175 cash.
Yeah, $175 cash or small caliber handguns. That's Union Park 008.
Do they make a small caliber black powder handgun?
I don't know. I don't know. I've been watching a lot of I don't know how it got in my algorithm, but I've been watching a lot of strange guns. They're novelty self-defense guns.
Okay.
There are a lot of them popping up on my...
Like the Judge?
It's like the Judge. It's an AR pistol. It's an AR-15.
Okay.
But it's got this weird geometry on the handle. Almost looks like a Pirates of the Caribbean musket. And it has to be that way for you to you can shoot it one hand. And then it's got this thing on the front of it called a halo that kills the recoil. So you can do it with one hand.
No, okay, so literally they just kind of redesigned the caliber and the
I mean, the
AR.
ATF doesn't like it because it's unclassifiable. It fits somewhere between a pistol and an assault rifle, and they don't like it at all.
Yeah,
because it's in that weird space. So, but you can get them. They're not really accurate. They're more just for it's a novelty. It's just a novelty. It's literally there's no purpose.
Yeah.
It's we built it. It's not for home defense. It wouldn't even be good. Yeah. I mean, you could use it. I mean, you could defend yourself with it, but there are better choices, is my point.
Yeah.
So I've been watching that. It's something about it I like because it's why did they make it? There's no reason. What's it for? There's no reason it's for.
Well,
what does it do?
They made it from the money.
Right.
Because people will buy it for the novelty and say, look at this. Which I'm often, like, when people come over to my house, I'm like, hey, you want to see some guns?
Dude, you take them in the back? I usually do that with pornography. Like, when people come to my house, I was like, would you like to see my adult... Any of you guys like to see my adult film collection? Let's start doing that. But it's classic, you know. And nowadays, the classics could be DVDs, right? Like, if you walked into somebody's house and they had a full-blown... Like, if you walked into their man room, because all the listeners are at an age where... They have like a man room.
Cave.
I don't like that. Don't say that. I almost cursed. I hate that. Man cave. I hate that. It's your just call it your office or your library or your study.
Yeah,
don't call it
as fun as a man.
No, man cave is not fun. Man cave is.
I've got a fluorescent Coors Light sign.
Yeah, I had one.
Right, yeah.
But like these man caves, these guys, they go and they put in just dumb. You're putting in dumb stuff.
Yeah, but it's it represents how much fun and the fact that their wife allows them to have a full room in the house that's all their garbage in there.
Yeah, it's a garbage.
Yeah. Because that's part of it is like my wife let me have this room because most of us like no one's gonna allow. Or my wife's not going to allow me to take over an entire room to put all my garbage in.
I don't have a room.
Yeah, because you know
those days are over.
She's like, we need this room for a guest room or whatever the hell.
We don't need a guest room. I don't want people in my house.
Yeah. Well, you guys, you have a kind of a man cave up your fourth floor.
It's like more of an exercise room.
Yeah,
for the most part.
Peloton, but your drum set's up there.
Drum set, weights, yoga mat. It's out there. You can do like stretching and stuff up there.
One Coors Light. It's a man cave.
All right, hold on. I'm thinking about this now. You want to do a couple voicemails?
Yeah.
Just to tie it in. I mean, we did the emails. Let's go tried and true, and let's go with let's try this one right here.
What's up, Tom and Dan? This is Keyed Up BDM. So I was listening to ACT the other day, and you guys read an email, I think, of somebody that is a person that trains for marathons or trains people for marathons, and he was worried about like how the interview would go. As I came in to do my interview, and I felt nothing but love. You guys just interview me, and I was confident in what I know and what I didn't know, and it was just like a casual conversation between friends, and I felt really comfortable in the studio. It was just a couple guys hanging out, and Sam was
just dudes on dudes, man. Just some dude. Yeah, Keyed Up, you're a good dude. He's such a kind man.
I like his voicemail better than his real call-in.
Yeah. Well, you get nervous when you got to do a real call-in, man. It's nerve-wracking, right? I think he's like worked it up. Like now he's like a regular voicemail leaving listener, which is you get a little more comfortable with it.
We have an interview style. We'll not let you fall in your face.
But I want to let you fall in. Not you. I mean, like,
well, the guests that we're interviewing, we're never going to let it all be on them.
Do you have a hardest interview? I do.
Well, I mean,
I have two of the hardest. Tilda Swinson.
I don't even remember that.
She was the old lady from MASH. That was hard.
Hot Lips?
Hot Lips from MASH.
That was good.
And then I'm trying to, and then also Ted Nugent's wife. That was a hard one.
Yeah, but she just did a lot of talking. Like usually when they're on the phone. I mean, Felipe Esparza. We didn't even understand him.
Yeah.
But on the,
I start to sweat during those, and I can't stop it. It's a condition. So I did it earlier today. You asked me something. Oh yeah, I was trying to recount. I was trying to tell you about these North Korean cartoons that me and Maisie were watching, and I had these notes that I made to tell you about them, and I couldn't find the notes. And when I'm not prepared, or when I go to find something and it's not there, or if I know something is not working, I will actively start, like, you can see sweat just start beating on my body. It's a horrible. I hate it. I hate that I'm like that.
Yeah, well, it's just triggering your anxiety, and you start floating away. Anyway,
crazy.
All right.
You want to do one more?
We'll do one more.
All right, let's try. This one's good because this guy okay, here.
Hey guys, it's Sean from Vegas. I was wondering if y'all have any good grifting stories or any kind of good ways y'all got around things when you were younger. Maybe some good stories you have.
This ties into when we were talking to Joey from Disney Joey yesterday, and this guy's putting together a book on like how to steal.
I'm trying to write a book on everything grifting, but one of the things I want to share with you guys is the other day I was watching UFC. And this is an example of what happened. They put they were like, thanks for watching UFC. Go to this website, put in a promo code, and you get 50 free bucks on some clothing website, right? So I went in there, did it, got my money, and I put a couple sweatpants and a shirt, whatever. It was exactly 50 bucks. I didn't have to pay anything, no shipping, and it was sent. And once I got my order sent, I was like, all right, that's cool. And I said, well, I do have infinite email addresses. Why don't I try this again and see if it works? And another promo code went through, and everything went through. I got another 50 bucks. Picked out my stuff, and it shifted. So then I went through and got basically one of everything that I wanted. And I was making fake email addresses. I was making, you'll never catch me at gmail.com, like stealing from your website at gmail.com. And they accepted every one. Eventually, at some point, I must have put in 30 orders or something like that. And they ended up canceling half of them, but I still got half of them. I got really nice warm sweatpants. So if you guys have any good ways of getting around stuff and scamming some free stuff, I'm all ears.
First of all, I think your book on how to steal sweatpants I think it's going to crush.
Think about what you're saying here. You're writing a book about how, have you searched the internet? It's all in there.
The honey deal was a scam, right? I mean, there's scams.
But there's people that have already curated lists of these things, and it's all on Google. It's on the internet. No one's. I mean, I'm sure anybody interested in this is just going to search it and not buy your book and read it. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think I had any of these that were egregious things that I ever used or took advantage of.
I've got one from the show. Amazon and certain companies will do promotions just to as marketing promotions, even though if people are taking advantage of it.
We know this one, right? I mean, for anybody who's not picking up what that was, I mean, the $50 is worth the email address. That's what that was.
Yes.
That's an easy one.
Yeah.
Most people, I just want to make sure everybody knows that, okay, why were they doing that? Well, the incentive is that once you have that person, you have their email address, then there's a high concentration if they're using an active email address that you will have them for life.
And you can market to them or whatever. But Amazon did this affiliate program deal where you could sign up and to become an Amazon affiliate.
Oh, we were one of those for a while.
And then Tiffany told us about this because she was promoting it. And then we realized, we have this unique advantage where we have a show that we could promote our affiliate link to our listeners. And hey, if you go to buy something off of Amazon, go through TomandDan.com link before you go and buy it.
And we got a cut.
And then we got a small percentage of people's purchases. Well, it was at a time where Amazon was popular enough where there were listeners that regularly ordered stuff off Amazon for their companies.
Computers, furniture,
lots of
business chairs.
We're talking tens of thousands of dollars a month of stuff through Amazon. And so they would just go through our link. It was no skin off their back. It didn't matter. Yeah. And there was times we were getting $1,900 a month. Just for doing nothing.
Yeah.
And then so we probably made $5,000 to $8,000 before they stopped it.
It was a lot.
And no one, and we couldn't believe it.
I do remember sitting back and being like, this is going to go on forever.
Well, we kind of figured that eventually this would go away, but it was an easy way. And it felt like we were taking advantage of the system, but Amazon had unlimited money at the time, and they were willing to put this into marketing because it was at a time where they were still trying to promote Amazon.
They were still growing.
They were still growing.
Yeah.
So we're talking 12 years ago, I think.
Maybe even longer.
I was at the old studio.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, we did. Didn't we have a guy? I thought we had a listener go in, and he emailed you one day. He's like, "Hey, I just bought $20,000 worth of computers."
Yes, that was and it was $1,500 in one purchase that and then he was like, I was going to buy them anyway. He literally just gave us $1,500 just because he had to buy it to begin with. So that was kind of grifting. There was more with,
man, as a kid, I always thought I was going to be one of those guys. It never happened, but as a young boy, I remember looking around and thinking like, I wanted to be successful, right? So I remember looking around and seeing like homeless people collecting cans or something, and I was like, I'll do that. I'm going to do that. Even like, I don't know if you had that as a young boy, but like you're trying to think of ways to make money, and I was like,
I wanted to be homeless collecting cans.
But I thought like I'll be
hustling.
I'm going to hustle, and then you don't do any of that. Like your perspective of what you need to do to earn money changes.
The best grifter that I've seen, we know, and it was Jimmy calls him Code Black.
Oh yeah, he is the best.
And he got obsessed, and maybe still is, but
I think he's out of the game.
Credit card promotions, and there was a time where these credit cards would offer ridiculous promos. It's kind of like Punch Drunk Love, where he found, and there's even the Pepsi Jet documentary, and people finding loopholes. Well, there's groups of people that find loopholes in these credit card promotions, and then they'll just basically farm points through basically recycling purchases. Like this person, for instance, would buy this credit card company did this deal where you get an extra 100 points for every $200 you spend on Sacagawea gold coins through the U.S. Mint, and they were doing a promotion with American Express, and then these groups of people find that, and then they'd buy a bunch of Sacagawea coins with this credit card, and then they take the coins and then buy money orders, and then take the money orders and then deposit them and back into the bank to pay off the credit card. So it was like a circle, and then it was just time spent. But meanwhile, they would get tens of thousands of points, and then certain credit cards had buy one get one free lifetime. Southwest Airlines passes, and you just needed 200,000 points. But they would just do this until they got that, and then buy that thing,
and then buy a couple of them. Yeah.
And this person never paid for flights, never paid for hotels, free cruises, all through credit card point promotions.
Just sounds like a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
To me, I'd rather just here's my card.
It's dedication to the grift, and it's completely legal. Yeah. And eventually, they may shut you down. In this particular story,
it's no different than being asked to not gamble at a casino because you're winning too much.
Yes, and then you just have to leave.
Yeah.
And so they may take your credit card. But I've even asked him, and he's like, most of the times they are making so much that they expect a certain amount of losses, and people taking advantage of it. But
there's not a lot of him doing that.
No. And even if there is, hundreds of thousands of dollars that they have to pay out, they're preying on the millions that they're making through, the normal person that, racks up credit card debt and can't afford to pay it back.
Yep.
And then has to pay interest.
Here is the last one, then we'll get out of here.
Stan in Palm Bay. I was listening to Monday's ACT, and you, Dan, are just talking about drunkenly going to the ATM and getting some money for the cleaning woman and how embarrassed he was about not getting a card, and Andrea yelled at him. I'm a Pullman, you guys know that, and I'm a Tom. We don't put them on top. The only reason I do kind of like the cards is because I stacked them on my dashboard in my work truck, so if customers happen to be out there for any reason and they see those cards, gotta go get him some money. But really, all he wants is the money. The cards can just go right in the trash. I don't even read half of them.
I love the fact that he puts the cards
in the
out
front. Yeah.
So other people. That's so smart. That is such a smart little thing. It's passive. You're not guilting anybody. You're not going up to somebody and being like, "Oh, you're not going to tip me this year." You're just.
That's the equivalent of putting dollars in your tip jar yourself to prime the pump.
Really smart. Really, really smart.
Yeah. That is smart. And that reminds me, I'd never tip my pool guy for Christmas.
Does he listen?
Yeah, he does.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I never tip my mailman.
Right, tell him something really nice. That'll be a nice
guy. Well, I used him.
Hold on. Would a shout out?
13 years straight.
Would a shout out count? What value does the radio shout out have?
so much less now.
Yeah, it used to be pretty powerful. Look, hey man, give my kid a shout out on his birthday. Give me $100. I don't even think it's worth that now, right?
No. Well, it depends on if they're listening.
The Cameo is the new radio shout out.
Yeah, because you can get it personalized.
Yeah. Well, I'll personalize it on the radio. I'm just going to be like, hey, listeners,
Well, I guess we could just tell people to go to our Cameo, and it's $20. $15.
Is our Cameo 20? I'm gonna raise it up. So I think we lowered it to. It's so low that people don't value it. We gotta bring it up.
$150.
Yeah, I think we got like $159.
Yeah. That'll bring them.
Oh man, RFK is $159. Same price. All right, you want to take a break?
Yeah, we will see you tomorrow. Welcome back to A Corporate Time. We are on location, and this is beautiful.
I'm just going to say it. I've been in a lot of tap rooms. I've been in a lot of bars. I've been into a lot of bars. I should have just said that. This is probably this is one of the most beautiful places to drink drink that I've ever been to, and it's one of the most beautiful places in Orlando that you can get a drink, and I've only been in here about 7 to 12 minutes.
It's
gorgeous.
We are right here at Mills 50 at Zymarium Meadery, and we are in a meadery, and now we're here with Joe and Ginger from Zymarium Meadery. And Ginger, real quick, when did you guys build this out? Because, like Daniel said, it is beautiful.
So it was, we've been open 18 months now. Before that was the build out, which, as we were talking before we started going live, it's really hard to gauge between 2019 and 2023. Time is sort of all over the place. So the build out, I want to say, was maybe about a year. So I designed the tap room. And as you were mentioning, it is a beautiful space, but it's also, I want it to be very welcoming. So a lot of people that haven't been in think, oh, it's too upscale for me, which is not at all. I think something can be beautiful and also like open to everybody. So it's definitely the intent was for it to be welcoming to everybody.
Yeah, it's actually hard to explain how it is welcoming, but at the same time clean and like very like fancy is not the right word. I don't know. Just come check it out. You have to come see it. It's very unique, truly unique.
Now, we are here today because we're promoting Science on Tap, January 25th.
Yes.
Orlando Science Center. It's a really awesome beer fest, and Zymarium's going to be out there. It's your first time this year that's going to be at Science on Tap,
Yeah,
correct?
first time since we opened. We did give away some stuff at Science on Tap. We were lucky enough to be there before we opened the tap room. Last year, unfortunately, we had just opened, so we weren't able to make it. So this is the first year that we're able to be there since our opening.
And OSC.org for tickets. You do get a discount if you're a member of the Orlando Science Center.
And you should be.
Yeah. Get those VIP tickets. Those are $75. You get an hour early. So you get to get samples an hour early, and also you get 2 full pours as well.
Yeah.
For those VIP tickets.
I like to save those for the very end to just kind of blast me into the passenger seat of my wife's car.
Yeah. Full pour of mead.
I don't know about that. I don't know if I need that. Mead to me seems like it's a sipping man's drink or something. Like I don't know if I want to start hammering it.
So
it's not like a Coors Light.
Speaking of mead, let's get to it because Joe's here and Joe's been on the show, and Joe's brought us some mead before in the past, and it's made from honey. Real quick, let's refresh our listeners' memory.
Honey is a hot topic these days with the honey scandal online.
Well, hold on, what's the honey scandal?
It was the web browser. Sorry. I'm just trying to tie in current events with actual things that are happening in the world.
I thought they were cutting honey because that's the thing too. They say it's just fructose corn syrup, and they're like, this is honey.
Yeah,
like fake honey.
They do that with olive oil as well. It's crazy out there.
How you doing, Joe?
Good to see you, Joe.
So let's talk about how do you make mead again.
Joe knows we're weird. He's okay with it, I feel like.
So that is one of the reasons we're using all local honey. Besides Florida's honey is amazing, we get to work with the local beekeepers. So they're pollinating the local crops, and we're able to buy the honey directly from them. And some of these guys were buying literally all of their honey, so they're able to grow the hives every single season. It's been really fun, and we're turning their honey into alcohol. Our meads range from dry to sweet. We have 5% crushers. We have 16% dessert wines. Everything in between, fruited, dry hop, spiced. Mead's kind of an open palette for us to make any type of delicious beverage we want, whether it's light and refreshing or cocktail style.
So there really is not much limitation when it comes to mead?
Correct. We have.
Can you carbonate it?
Yes. Half our meads are actually carbonated, beer style.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
See?
I did not know that.
I did not know. I never thought, we've asked questions about mead before, but obviously not enough, my friend. I didn't know that you could carbonate mead.
It's more of a modern style. It's new. Florida's hot. I want big glasses of mead. The high alcohol, strong stuff, whether it's dry or sweet, is wonderful to sip on.
Sure.
But, sometimes you want some pints of mead.
Yeah. I never thought about that. It's almost like the hand-drawn old-school beers of, pubs in England where you get, a 3% or 4%, session type of beer. I know that I've had some of those down at, Red Light has some of them before, and I never thought about that.
What's really cool about locally sourced mead is that it's the most local type of alcohol I could think of because of this fact. So you get there's a local craft brewery in town, right? And they get their hops because hops don't grow in Florida. They're like, we get our hops from Washington or whatever. They get
right. There's specific areas.
The bees use local flowers.
Yeah.
There's no other way around it. The bees made the honey from local flowers in Florida.
You can tell Florida bees.
What?
Jean shorts. They're wearing jean shorts.
And then they say that, and I don't know how much you know about honey, Joe. I'm sure.
Well, I would imagine a lot considering he's the mead man.
Well, I was going to tell Joe what I knew about honey.
This is so embarrassing. Joe, should I cut that part out where he's like, I don't know how much you know about mead, Mr. I Make Mead, but old Tom Van's going to tell you how it's done. And you know what? While you're saying that, Tom, Ginger, coming from Dan, I know you designed this place and you think it's pretty good. I'm going to tell you a thing or two about how to design a meadery because I think this place is a dump. What are you doing? What is wrong with you? Why would you tell him that?
Well, I didn't know he knows about making alcohol from honey, but I don't know if he knows about honey.
On the last 3 years, how many days have you worked with honey?
Every day.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Well, I was going to mention about, and I don't even know if this is an urban legend or not, the Joe could tell me, but I heard...
We've done a lot of bad here, Jeff, I'm sorry.
That you can actually help all your allergies, if you have pollen allergies, by eating local honey because it has micro pollens.
I looked this up, but I think it's one of those things where it is true, but you would need to consume a bucket truck of it daily. I'm dead serious. I looked this up one night. Because I'm an insomniac. I laid in bed researching this. I'm pretty sure, yes, what you're saying, the science is true. It's facts. But you would need to consume...
All right.
It's like dying from marijuana. You would need to consume a bucket, a garbage truck full of it, and then you'd be like, oh, my allergies are gone.
All right, so that is not true, Joe.
It's not true, but placebos are proven to work.
All right, okay.
And you hear from a lot of people that eating local honey does help with their allergies. It's just...
And all of the meat is unfiltered.
Exactly. So the honey that we're getting is unfiltered, raw, unpasteurized, and then we are not filtering or heating the meads. So all of that local pollen is still in the mead once we're done fermenting it and bottling it and canning it.
So if you drink a truckload of mead,
you are not going to be feeling well.
No, that's going to be rough.
You won't have any allergy problems.
Yeah. That's going to be rough. I got into some barley wine one time, and it's the worst I've ever felt in my life. It was going down is delicious and fun, and it tastes so sweet. But the next day, I couldn't even walk.
It's all that gluten.
Weirdly, we've had a lot of people tell us they don't get hangovers from drinking the mead. We've had tons of bodybuilders that go out drinking and then they came here and they're like, bro, there's no hangover. Like, we
Let me
hear
tell
it
you something,
repeatedly.
brother.
And
Hulk Hogan.
we are happy to test that if anyone wants to
I like
drink a
that.
bunch of mead.
I like that. We got to get Hogan in here.
Let me tell you something, man. What you gotta do when Zymerian gets a hold of you?
So even though the meads can be sweet, like Ginger was saying, the yeast is lazy, just like all of us. They're going to eat the simplest sugars first, leaving the complex sugars in the mead. So these are longer chain sugars that your body takes longer to break down, so you're not getting that sugar rush and then crash. Also, meads are all gluten-free, so you're not getting simple sugars, you're not getting gluten. So, I mean, to me, that makes sense why you're not going to get a hangover like you are with beer, harder alcohol, or cocktails, all the simple sugars.
And what fascinates me about mead and just honey in general is, and I wouldn't have believed this, and like my brother-in-law is a beekeeper, and I interviewed him dozens of times about this. But
do you know how you can tell a beekeeper? They're lonely. They're lonely people, the beekeeper.
And he showed me two different honeys. He's like, these are bees that were located near the beach. And these are bees that are located near closer inland. Yeah. And their access
the
to...
inland bees had saggy jean shorts on. and little tiny wife beaters.
And because the bees make the honey out of whatever pollen they're exposed to. And you would think, like, I always thought, like, all pollen's kind of the same. Like, it's all going to be about the same. And one was so much darker than the other. And I taste both of them. And they had a distinct difference. Like, it wasn't even I could kind of tell it was like distinct. One was thick and heavy, and one was way lighter. And like, that's crazy to me that bees make such different honey based on what flowers and pollen they're exposed to.
It's wild. Getting into this.
Hold on, write that down. I like how to bees. It's wild.
I'll make a shirt out of that.
Jeff, write that down. You do animals there. You got animals there. That's free. That's free. That's free. Put that in the gift shop, Jeff. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
One of these days, these people are going to listen to me. Start listening to the things I say.
Sourcing honey all over the state, you're like, oh my God, I knew what Florida orange blossom honey tastes like, but now I'm trying it all over the state, and I'm not sure anymore. And then the more you dive into it and talk to these beekeepers that have been doing it for 50-plus years, if there's a lot of rain, it's going to knock out all the oak pollen, and you're going to left with this delicate white jasmine flower orange blossom. Super delicate, almost clear. But if there's no rain, you're going to get all this oak pollen, which gives you this dark orange blossom that's citrusy, candied oranges, and it's both Florida orange blossom.
No wrong answers. Both have their strengths and weaknesses, but they're truly unique.
Exactly. Same season, maybe 50 miles apart in the state, and just the weather literally changed what pollen is getting into the honey. And yeah, it's unbelievable because all the plants bloom at the same time.
Is there a Louis Vuitton of honey? Is there like an area where the bees eat the best stuff? Like the coffee beans that are eaten by that one particular animal.
Kopi Luwak.
Yeah. Like, is there any kind of like these bees are the best bees, and this honey is going to blow your mind?
So Florida definitely has two areas. We have Tupelo honey up on the Florida-Georgia border. These white Tupelo trees only grow on basically the water's edge, so they're all riverbanks, and it's the Panhandle region and the swamp. So every time a hurricane goes through, it's destroying these trees. As houses are being built, the trees are less. So this honey was already rare, even way back before development.
Wow.
It only blooms like 3 weeks a year. So if it rains those 3 weeks, you're not getting any honey that season. So Tupelo is getting rarer and rarer every year, and it's definitely the most expensive Florida honey. And it's exceptional tasting. It's one of those honeys it's the sweetest honey. So all honeys are sweet, obviously, because they're made of different sugars. But honeys are made of mostly 3 different sugars, glucose, fructose, and sucrose. And they can be in different levels. So all different ratios for different honeys. And Tupelo has the highest of the simple sugars, making it taste the sweetest. And it makes it there's Tupelo, Mississippi. Jim Morrison wrote a song about Tupelo honey.
Yeah.
Tupelo is famous and expensive and gets rarer every year.
Can you give us an example of like the price, like now? Does it fluctuate? Like
$10 a pound minimum.
$10 a pound.
It's if you were a local beekeeper here and you took your hives up into the Tupelo region and try and put your hives out there to get some Tupelo honey, they're not going to steal your hives, the locals. They're going to burn your hives to the ground.
Whoa, all right.
It's
I love
like
that.
Tupelo wars up there.
Yeah,
it's
man.
old Florida.
Let's do a show about that.
Is there any way to make a synthetic mead that doesn't or involve like maybe with synthetic honey and not bee made honey?
Well, like
have you ever seen that?
Some like Splenda?
No, or like it just
barf. Oh god, that sounds disgusting.
Like you're using some sort of sugars that it's not necessarily honey, but it's like maybe like basically fake mead without real honey. Like
it would
do that?
It'd be really difficult because you have all those florals from the flowers. So. Yeah, if you took the 3 different sugars and added some acids, but honeys have like hundreds of different acids. That's why they're so complex tasting. Then you have all those florals. So it'd probably be a life's work to try and make honey from scratch. It's so
and this
complex.
Is when I started it. And this is when I started.
Yeah.
It starts at the first step.
And the bees just make it easily.
Is it because it's an organic? You're working with an organic, right?
Exactly.
And it's not the honey, even though it's coming from the same area. Am I correct in assuming that it's not going to be the same every time? Because so is that the hardest part of what you do? Is trying to be consistent with a
each batch is different.
You're trying to be consistent and keep your meadery's consistency with an organic compound that's not consistent.
Absolutely. So I would say our quality is consistent, but the flavors are always going to be different in a wonderful way. Yeah, exactly.
It's like shaking up the bottle. Like, what do we get this time?
Yeah,
let's see.
So I taste the honey, and I'm like, oh, I'm getting some cinnamon notes from this clover honey. Oh, I'm gonna put some vanilla with it and just lean into it. Or I'm getting some grape notes, so I'm gonna use a Riesling wine strain and bring out more grape flavors from this honey.
It is cool that each batch is going to be different, unique to itself. You know, it's like you're never going to get the same exact batch.
Have you ever been chasing
time.
one? You ever made one and then you're like, well, never. Oh man, I've been chasing that one for 3 years now, trying to reproduce the same taste.
No, but once in a while you'll have honey that you're like, oh, I'm never getting this again. This is an exceptional version of this honey.
Yeah. That's exactly what I was wondering. Because that's both fulfilling and almost makes what you're doing a bit more unique.
Yes,
because it's like Instagram stories.
Yeah.
You know, it's going away, man.
Yeah.
Well, let's drink some mead.
Let's do it.
I'm excited to try some mead
talking,
here.
Running our mouths here.
So
and they have a beautiful setup here. There's these 2 like massive golden pipes that come down for where they serve their mead. It's beautiful.
And speaking of the carbonated mead, so everything on the left is carbonated, everything on the right is the still mead. So when we were talking about the carbonated, everything on the side on that whole tower there is the carbonated meads.
Right. It does feel like I'm sitting in Dracula Sports Bar.
Yeah, I know. It's Dracula Sports Bar.
Exactly what a meadery should look like.
2 for 1 neck bites.
And I was talking to Jasmine about her plants over there. We were talking about trading some plants for mead, which Daniel was right, is the most medieval thing we could think of.
All right. So this is our most popular mead, and we kind of call it our gateway mead. This is what we always bring out. This is the first thing people usually try, and they're running in here after trying it.
All right.
So this is our Florida lychee. So lychees grow really well in Florida. There's giant U-pick farms down in the Jupiter area. And lychees pair really well with floral things like Florida orange blossom. So you got your orange blossom honey and your juicy lychees.
Oh, it smells delicious.
And the pairing's just wonderful.
Wow. I mean,
That tastes like a Kool-Aid or something. Like, that's It's like a refreshing.
You cannot taste any alcohol in that.
That's a refreshing children's sports drink. Like that. Like there's nothing at all alcohol about that.
Yeah. Is that a Capri Sun citrus cooler?
That does taste a little citrus coolery. Yeah,
that's 7%.
This is definitely Michael Jordan's favorite. Wasn't he?
This is 7%.
No, it is not.
Yep.
I gotta be careful.
So, is it the honey aftertaste that masks the alcohol? Because it does not taste.
It doesn't really have an aftertaste. It kind of leaves clean.
Right. Yep. Exactly. So, yes, because it's lower alcohol, you're not tasting it, and some of the residual honey's covering that up. But we're also fermenting nice and cold, like 50 degrees, like a lager. So the colder and slower we ferment, you're not going to get that rocket fuel booziness.
Yeah.
Now it does have something that it does have some sort of a taste that when you mentioned lager, it has there's something there.
It's crisp, yeah.
Yeah, it's got that little bit of aftertaste that you get from like a lager that's almost like it's bright kind of ish. Yeah, this is delicious. Yeah, but I bet you this would floor me. Holy smokes.
It's funny because I think people have the misconception meads are thick of some, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And this is very light. But have you noticed that people are surprised by how light your meads are?
So we do have the thick, heavy ones because that is what people are looking for, and it's wonderful to sip on. But you can't drink a pint glass of it.
Yeah.
And then we have white wine style that drink just like a white wine, totally bone dry. And yeah, like I said, we have every different style, so it's really fun. Something for everyone. The flights are great. We do a lot of flights so people can try the range.
Hold on a second. If you used honey from the Champagne region and you carbonated it,
you mean like
then it's still champagne because it's the region, right? It's not the grapes.
Well, they own the actual term champagne. You can't even use champagne, I think.
Then we need to figure out a different term for bees that are from the Champagne area. Because I feel like there's a market for some sort of gimmick like that.
Like a champagne bee? Yeah, right.
And we make a champagne mead called Meal to Meal, like Blanc de Blanc.
Okay, all right.
I like this.
So.
Oh, yeah, man. It smells. That's wild. That's what I would rip that all day, man.
Yeah. So what is that we just drank?
Give me a foot tall glass of that after I mow the grass. What is the percentage of that guy?
This one's 8.5.
Oh, okay. Well, don't give me a tall glass after mowing the grass.
But I am working on a 4% version.
That's great.
But yeah, it's crisp. That's what you can drink a lot of, and we actually mix the two and make what we call a mead mosa.
Mead mosa?
I like a mead mosa.
So you get all the lychee flavor without the sweetness, and you could drink a lot of it. It's awesome. It's also very popular. Add a splash of this one to that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good.
I'm making a mead mosa.
Yeah.
You ain't got no mead mosa.
No, I want to make it too.
He's making one too.
All right.
Okay, now I really like that because it edges out the sweetness just a little bit, gives it a little more of that champagne pop.
Exactly.
Oh, you could get stupid on mead, man. You can start science.
And
science.
Just like a champagne, our meal to meal is keg and bottle conditioned. So while it's fermenting, we are kegging and bottling it. So it finishes fermenting in the package, which means all the bubbles are from the honey, and you're getting all those aromatics locked up in the CO2.
If you look at mead mosa in the eyes, the liver turns to stone. I'm drunk.
I didn't want to say anything, but I started sipping that first one, and there was 7%. And I'm like, I haven't been drinking at all, not one drop, not one freaking drop, and I feel like a god.
Full disclosure, it's 9:30 in the morning.
I don't want to lie to you guys. I turned around in this place. I looked around and I'm like, I am the vampire sportscaster. I'm ready for let's do this.
So, are we going to try another mead? That's
spoken like a true alcoholic. My God!
You open up the floodgates.
I think we're good.
Yeah. So, Joe, how long is it similar to a craft beer as far as the brewing process, or is it longer?
It's definitely longer because we want to preserve all those delicate aromatics of the honey. That's what we're paying for.
Yeah.
And honey is really expensive. So the session meads, about 6 to 8 weeks, and then the full strength meads, 3 to 4 months or longer.
Holy smokes, that's
we
wild.
We can age them in barrels for years. We started trading barrels recently with Forward Slash, the local distillery. They're finishing bourbons in our mead barrels, and we're finishing meads in their spirit barrels.
Yeah, like the craft spirits, mead, craft beer. It seems like you guys are always cohesive and a little bit nicer than podcasters.
So Joe, what kind of meads can people expect to try at Science on Tap? January 25th. Again, get your tickets at osc.org. Members get a discount. Get that VIP. Get in there an hour early.
Yeah, we're going to be bringing these session meads. So we're definitely bringing Florida Lychee. And if it's ready, we're going to be bringing our collaboration with Tactical Brewing.
Nice. We love those guys.
Yeah. We're doing a dry hopped mead, and they're doing a dry hopped beer. And we're going to have the same alcohol, same sweetness, same hops. So we're kind of making the same thing, but a beer and a mead version.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, we're doing it for Beer Week, obviously.
Yeah, we're going to I think we're going to have Chris and some of the guys from Orlando Beer Weekend to chat a little bit about that as well. So
yeah. Awesome. Well, Joe, Ginger, thanks so much for having us out. We really appreciate it. And again,
I feel better than I have in 14 days.
Zymarium Meadery right here on Mills 50.
Yeah,
definitely come by here.
Come check it out. Beautiful date night, too. If you want to maybe impress your significant other and take them to some place that actually looks nice, where they can dress up a little bit. I mean, or you can be casual, I'm sure. But this place looks great.
And again, if you want to try some mead, just get your tickets to Science on Tap, January 25th, osc.org. All the proceeds go to benefit Orlando Science Center, too.
Become a member, save some money. Guys, thank you so much for your time.
Thank
we
you.
appreciate you.
Yep, and we will be right back. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We are live on Twitch and YouTube, and I'm laughing because the chat room is very, very funny. And you can be a part of that chat room. Just head over to twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live, or you can search YouTube Tom and Dan Live at Tom and Dan Live. We broadcast every single workday. For 5 hours or so, 3 hours or so, and we'd love to have you be there. So like and subscribe wherever you watch your podcasts.
So it's Wednesday.
Yeah, ma'am.
So let's do a little weird job.
I made a new one. The man that we're talking to, I believe he likes the metal. He's a bit of a heavy metal man.
Yeah.
And I started playing around with like real metal, like he likes, but it wasn't coming out good enough, like where you could actually hear the vocals. So I took a step back in time and did a little bit of an 80s. Sort of a hair metal version. We don't do enough of these. This is Weird Job Wednesday.
Tom had a vision, it was wild, it was grand. Weird Job Wednesday, yeah, the talk of the land. Dan raised his fist, said, man, that's legit. But Tom shook his head, said, that's total bullshit. Oh, just another Weird Job Wednesday. Turn it up, let it rock, let it play. Yeah, it's Weird Job Wednesday. Crank the amp, screaming loud all the way.
There you go. It's Weird Job Wednesday. Weird Job Wednesday.
When you're writing the lyrics, you can save yourself some work by not putting the curse on it.
It's not as good. It's not as good when you beep it ahead of time. It really isn't. It really, really isn't. You got to let the energy. It all comes back to energy, man. It comes back to what we were talking about. The energy, when you beep it, it's a different energy. You got to have that original S word energy.
Energy isn't real. Just like birds. Make that sticker. So on the line with us right now, he's been a listener for a while. Adam, how you doing, Adam?
Doing good. And I started out with hair metal, so I love that.
Okay, well, hey, we're glad to have you, man. Thanks so much for being here. Welcome to Weird Job Wednesday. Now, this is the first time Tom's ever done this. I don't believe you've ever done this, where this is like either you're a genius or lazy because you did dealer's choice. We've never done a Weird Job dealer's choice.
Adam told us he has had a bunch of different jobs.
Bunches.
But a lot of them are pretty interesting and good for Weird Job. One being a parade, what would you call it? Manager? Parade associate? I don't know. Around the parade industry.
That one looks really hard.
During the parade, I'm the spotter, And that really evolved from when we used to live broadcast it on television. And so my job is to make sure to relay the order of what's going on, because it kind of changes sometimes, and relay that so that the MC isn't saying, hey, this is Girl Scout troop whatever, and it's actually Boy Scout troop something else, or, you know, a restaurant or something. And so that was my original job, along with keeping the gap set correctly and keeping people safe by keeping them off the streets.
Mind the gap?
Yeah, but I also do the map and everything. I've been on the committee for the Winter Park Christmas Parade for 20 years now. This was my 20th.
He was being yelled at. I saw him. I may or may not have saw him, allegedly. I don't like to, I was hiding in the crowd. This man was being yelled at by every bougie jerk Winter Park mom you've ever seen. They were all breaking
what are they
the
yelling
rules.
at him for?
They're all breaking the rules. You're not supposed to be in the street of the parade because you have sheriff service vehicles, a SWAT team driving down the tanks and you got kids jumping for peppermints, and these vapid douchebag Winter Park moms are yelling at him as he's walking. He's like, guys, you please get back. You could get killed. And they're like, F you. Just don't
My
care.
kid likes the candy.
Yeah, my kid does what we are rich. We do what we want.
I like that. Yeah.
Like, Adam, am I lying?
No. They are. It's very challenging. They actually, one of them.
No, he is nothing but polite. I want to reiterate that he is nothing but polite, but the people are bristly with him. Not cool.
They made my daughter cry, actually. My daughter has been doing it with me. She's been to every one since she's been alive. I've either carried her at the end or whatever, but even though she had a big thing that day, it was a long day for her, she had to go to another parade and be in it. But that they made her, a lady made her cry. She comes up to me crying, what's going on? So I went over there, and then when I have to, I just go and get one of Winter Park's finest to come over there and explain it to them. So
it does make it. I noticed that you walked by, that's true. He walked by.
Who makes a little girl cry because she's trying to?
I'm not kidding you, Tom. I'll tell you what I saw. He walked by, Adam walked by, and he'd everybody back, hey, get back. He's limited, right? You're not going to get into a pissing match with these people. And then when the cop came by, everybody respected it, and they had some big giant cop walk by and go, hey, you got to get back. You got to get back. They don't care, man.
Yeah.
They don't care.
You need a gun, Adam. I feel like that's where they listen to you if you have a gun.
And it was a great parade. I mean, you had a ton of entries, man. Well done. It was a good one. I like a parade.
Yeah, I've been fine-tuning, and I'm the main, not the only one, certainly. Lots of input from the other people on the committee. As it stands now, I'm about the longest-serving person left on it because our chair retired and things, and I've just been doing it a long time. But I'm the one that does most of the layout of the parade, trying to keep it so it's not all a bunch of walkers, keep the bands separate from each other, and things like that. It takes a little bit of logistics, but we start in usually about August is where we very first start setting up the parade.
So, Adam, I know this is not your particular job, but let's talk about the business of a parade.
I've always, look, I have to say this. Can I say this?
Who does it benefit?
Well, it would benefit us. I have begged you since the inception of our incorporation of T&D Media for us to get, at Christmas, I want us to get OK Plumbing van and pretend to be the Wet Bandits.
Yeah.
In a Christmas parade. I've always wanted to be in a Christmas parade. Tom and Dan, that's the sign of a successful business when you're in a parade.
Is it?
Yeah, it is.
I agree.
I agree. It's the pinnacle of success, I feel
because all I see is a bunch of Mustang clubs and Jeep clubs and
you got
random
some politicians in there waving.
Yeah.
You got the comptroller.
But
you got to get a couple comptrollers in there.
They all pay to be in it. There's an entry fee, and then we have sponsors we have flagship sponsors, where different sponsorship levels, and those sponsors pay in a lot of money, and it goes to raise money for the Chamber of Commerce certainly, but it also promotes them. They're basically, it's kind of like what you guys do. They are paying for advertising, and they hand out candy and press the flesh.
We are the parade of podcasts.
There you go.
We give out candy.
So do you tell them how many people are expected at the parade? Because that's part of the advertising, right? And how many people go to the Winter Park Parade, Christmas parade?
It depends. It's varied. Obviously, the COVID years, we had some smaller years there. But in general, I believe the count, it's at least 10,000 people. I know that.
The COVID years are the best years. I'm down there. It was just me. It's like 40 people down there.
Yeah, it was, and we stretched it out.
I'm down there, no mask, just living my best life.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
We did, for a couple years there, the Winter Park Police Department did not want to go the way we go. We go down Park Avenue, we go south, and then we take a left. And they wanted to stop doing that because it was kind of a little bit of a boggle to get people out there, and there was construction going on. So they had us go right and go across the train tracks. So for 3 years there, we had to stop and wait because there's a train that comes through during the parade, and we had to stop the whole parade, wait, and then once the train left, then restart the parade. Make sure that we're safely crossing the tracks and everything. It was a nightmare, and thankfully this year they said, no, let's go back to the old way. And we're like, yay! So that's what we've been doing. You'd be surprised. I mean, I've learned a lot about it. There's a lot of planning that goes into this thing on terms of the city, the merchants, the residents. Everybody has to know, hey, there's this big thing going on.
Yeah, there's a lot that could go wrong, which is maybe one of the reasons why I like it. I gravitate to it. Not because I want to see you get a hard time, which is what I was watching that particular day. But no, it's good. Like, you guys do a really nice job, and it's big. That thing lasts. It lasts for a long time, man. You can definitely get your medical marijuana's worth if you toot up and sit for that parade. That's a good one.
It's about an hour and a half. We start promptly at 9, and we're usually done almost exactly at 10:30.
It's about the length of Moana. Nailed it.
Yeah, there you go.
Do you have the first person in the parade? Do they act like a pacer? And what's the standard speed of a parade? Ooh. Like, are we talking 2 miles an hour? 3 miles an hour? What are we talking here?
Probably it's no more than about 5, and the pace really gets set. It kind of can vary with ours. It really gets set by the marchers. Now, there's marching bands and color guard for the sheriff's department.
Ooh, you can't say that anymore. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to hang up on this call.
No, it's a flag.
I know. The honor guard. I'm sorry. Yes, they're called
thank
the
you.
honor
Thank
guard.
you. Call them honor guard.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's better.
My daughter's in color guard, so I confused
We have the same fountains now, Adam.
Yes. They really do kind of set the pace because we have to kind of start and stop as they do a little bit and keep with them. But that's really one of the main things. I'm kind of juggling a lot of things. You see me there with 2 different radios and with the clipboard and everything, and that's really the main thing that I'm doing is taking notes on things that went right or wrong as I go, making sure to keep the gap set to the 3-car length gap between the back of one thing and the front of another, and making sure that people stay with them. I say the same things to the entrants over and over. Maintain their speed, start and stop when they do, and then just keep going. And it kind of naturally flows that way.
Adam, can you deny someone access to the parade?
Oh, especially now with the way things are now. You can deny anybody anything. Well, this is a right to work state.
No, what I'm saying is that, say I just want to...
No more Mustang clubs. We're Jeep only. Good day.
What if I just wanted to waste my own money and drive my standard...
No, you have to be unique. I'm sorry.
Toyota Corolla in the parade. I just want to drive and the windows up and promoting nothing. I just want to be in the parade.
No, you want to drive.
I'll pay.
Windows up, but you're smoking. You're smoking one cigarette.
I'll pay to be in there and pay whatever the parade fee.
But I don't want anyone looking at me. I want them to look away as I'm driving.
Have you ever had someone this?
Yeah, this private rider.
Well, that's not so flashy and doesn't add anything, and you're just you can't. We need some more pizzazz. You can't just.
Is that the first time you've ever said that word? I think that might be the first time that's ever graced your tongue.
Or is that insane and no one's ever?
You're definitely a less than 3 times pizzazz man.
There is an application process, and I'm pretty sure if it was somebody with just a plain vehicle, said, no, I'm not promoting anything, just me and my dog driving down the road.
I like that.
I think they would probably deny that because we do have only so much space.
But my dog is, my dog is trans. Just to make him laugh. I just trying to make him laugh.
We do have an entry in the parade that is the Orlando Pride, and they're wonderful. They're excellent to deal with.
Yeah, they're champions.
Yeah, or it might be Winter Park Pride actually, but it's a pride group, and they come in there and they march. And I had them next to some Girl Scouts, and I was asked, just in case maybe we should separate them in case someone from this Girl Scout crew from a church complains. And so we decided to separate them.
That's the thing.
Sent out the order.
That's the thing that you're fighting, Adam, is that people love to complain about everything.
They do, and we really try to truncate that right at the beginning.
You got to get in front of it. Yeah, just try to make it so everybody can parade with limited, grumpy face.
So, Adam, there's some scientific experiment about traffic where they did this, I forgot where, but they had this huge roundabout, and they just put cars going the same speed, and eventually, through micro differences in speed, it started creating traffic backups for no really apparent reason, just because one car stopped a little bit, we're going a little faster, and all of a sudden now you had backups and huge gaps, and it was just explaining how traffic naturally happens with human drivers. I think it's partly because they're showing with automation and computer-driven drivers, it would eliminate a lot of this. And so I imagine that with a long enough parade, there's going to be a snake-like effect and create big gaps that you don't want in the parade because that all of a sudden and so how do you account for that?
Well, what I do is I get out there and I stand in the middle and I start waving my clipboard going, come on, come on, come on.
He walks in. He was doing, that was the other thing he was doing. Okay. I forgot to tell you that. Other than just people yelling at him because they wanted to dive under vehicles for candy. Worthless candy, by the way. I'm talking peppermint, peppermints.
Yeah.
It's not good candy. They're not diving for Reese cups. They're diving for peppermints. But no, the other thing that he would do is that you would see him walking it, constantly massaging the length of it, bringing this person up, making this person slow down, making this person stop. It's a lot.
Yeah.
And how many of you are walking at the same time?
You mean walking along and doing this?
Yeah.
It's me, my daughter now the last few years, and whatever volunteers I get. And that's one of the good things about talking about it like this is, we're always looking for volunteers, and a lot of kids.
I put Tom's name in there. I threw.
There you go.
Yeah, Mr. Observant.
But a lot of high school kids is what I get. The problem is somebody has to not be afraid to say to someone, "Hey, you got to do this, that, the other." But then they also have to listen to them. They go, "Oh, it's just some kid." Yeah, so it's difficult. I would almost rather have adults. I know BDMs would do a great job. Hint, hint.
Yeah,
but
I'll get out there. I'll yell at some people for you. Get the hell out of here.
I will only volunteer to do things if you pay me. Mm-hmm. So that's my rule.
I like that.
What do you want me to do? I'll volunteer for this. You have to pay me for it. Yeah. That's it. That's my only stipulation. If you pay me, I'll volunteer to do anything.
How do you feel about it? Go ahead, Adam. Sorry.
I was going to say, and that's the thing. This is the weird jobs that I suggested. I have a couple of different volunteer things that I do. This, and then I'm also a docent at the Central Florida Zoo. But it's not my real job. I don't get paid for any of these things. I get paid to do my boring job, which is, I do structural engineering drawings. I'm the senior CAD technician at an engineering firm.
Oh, so you have a real job? I thought you were a zoo dum-dum.
No.
Oh, my God. For the longest time, I thought you were just an idiot zoo dum-dum.
You're in my phone as zoo dum-dum. You're crumbling my world.
Oh, my God. I'm like, you're smart? I didn't know you were smart. I was like, look at the way this guy dresses. He's a zoo idiot.
I'm a teacher at the zoo.
What?
I'm actually a teacher there. I'm a volunteer teacher.
I had kangaroo dum-dum.
They said, "Man, he'll do great with the monkeys."
Yeah. Oh, man.
So,
God, you learn something every day.
Last parade question, then let's go over to the zoo volunteer.
Okay.
So with the parade, is there anything that's happened that
he may not be able to talk about that? Might be in current litigation.
So a vehicle's broken down.
Oh yeah, Sheriff Mina rolled over an infant in the.
Or anything happened when you were doing this parade?
We this year we did have one car that was overheating and we had to get out of there, and I got off on a side street.
Oddly enough, it was the original Sam's original Ford Ranger that Tom and Dan drive.
Well, we have a rule, and it's dictated, again, by the police department. They don't want people to throw candy from the floats, and the reason is because, for one, it hits people. And for another, when it lands...
Hold on a second. It was nothing but candy flying.
Exactly. That was the big thing this year. And the best part about it was the police chief of Winter Park was throwing candy off his float.
Oh,
like, wait a minute,
my God.
So
yeah, he wrote the law, and he's like, I can't get no free will. I can't stop myself. I have to throw the candy.
Yeah. And it wasn't, it's not like end of the world as long as you're getting it out there, but when it falls short, the kids will run out and get it.
Yeah,
and
I like to throw it in front of the vehicle. As it's moving, I stand out of the sunroof and I launch it in front of the vehicle.
Test those kids' agility. But, yeah, no, we try to get people we want them to actually walk at the sides and not, they don't have to hand it. They can kind of toss it, but they need to be within a couple of feet of the edge of the road. And so I was constantly going to floats, saying, oh, no, you can't throw it off there. You got to come down. And everyone, to a person, was like, oh, okay. And they just got out and they did it. So there were no issues with that.
But it isn't as fun.
It's kind of funny when you have the police chief doing it. It's like, ooh.
Yeah, but I will tell you, Adam, as a parade goer and as a person who does like parades, it's not as much fun to have a lady walk up to you and hand you a toothbrush with a small piece of candy attached to it. I'd rather catch the toothbrush with a small piece of candy attached. You know what I mean?
True.
Like when they walk up and they hand it to you, I'm like, why are you giving me this? I did nothing for this. I didn't earn this.
Last question. How does a parade end? Is there a stage?
There's a hole in every, like right into the hole. They can't stop.
Like is it end in a big enough parking lot for everybody to
kind of party and high five?
Like, or do you just like, go, get out of here, go home? Like, do they just drive away?
Go straight home, go.
It does end near, it's by a parking lot, but it does end at a spot where it's prearranged where people disperse from there and go back to where they parked, or parents are picking up kids or whatever. That's one of the biggest challenges down there in downtown Winter Park. I mean, it's a wonderful area. It's beautiful, but there's a lot of stuff. And we're doing this, and people are open for business and things like that. But we wrap around, we take a left and then wrap around, and we do have a spot where we let people out and people disperse.
I need more, not to complain, but you're on the line.
Mm-hmm.
A captive audience. I need more horses. I need more animals in the parade.
Oh, yeah. We've only got a few.
Only a few.
We used to have dogs. It was like lostdogs.com or something like that.
I want a bunch of lost dogs.
All they did was complain about how we can't be by this, we can't be by that. It's too loud. The dogs are scared, and we're finally just like, look, it's a parade, Yeah. So we kind of stopped having them in the parade.
Understand.
They kind of quit applying.
I get it. That makes sense. I appreciate the explanation.
I'm trying to do the math on how much money you could generate from a parade.
What's the entry fee, Adam?
I'm not 100%, but I want to say I think it's only like $75 or $150.
You guys got to raise that. You got to raise that up. You could do $200.
I think it's less for chamber members. Now, if their business is a member of the Winter Park Chamber of Commerce, then obviously, I think they might get a discount. But then the sponsors pay the big.
We need to get in, dude. We need to get in these parades.
Well,
I'm telling you,
we need some sort of wacky vehicle.
We
need something.
You need to get Sam to get that truck back.
No, that's ship has sailed. What about Skunk Man, the guy that drives a skunk car around town? What if he let us borrow his skunk car to drive it around? Right?
Have a skunky Christmas.
Yeah, we need something. Some kind of, like a Wienermobile or something. We'll find something.
I don't want to ruin your business here, Adam, but I've never seen someone in a parade and like, I'm going to use that business. They're in this parade.
Oh, I have. many times. In fact, many of the small businesses I use to this day have come from parade.
So
I think
it's my
it's
phone book.
More getting the name out there, and I agree. I don't always understand the concept of that kind of advertising.
Adam, what's falling on deaf ears with Tom is that he does not believe in the perceived connection to the community. I feel like when you're in the parade, people see that and go like, these are the people that are the pillars. These are the luminaries. These are the people. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you're not in the parade, who are you? What are you even doing for Winter Park?
A good example of one of the companies that's in the parade is Jeremiah's.
Oh, he was in the parade, and he gave my wife a bunch of coupons, almost as if they had kissed before.
Yep. They hand out coupons.
I mean, he couponed her bad, dude. Like, he walked up, he's giving coupons to all the kids, and he walks up to Andrea, the real Jeremiah, which we've known for forever, he handed Andrea like 30 coupons. You have kissed.
Yep, and that's a good example. They're out there, and hey, here's a free sample if you've never tried it or whatever the case is, and like you said, people see, This is bougie. This is the Winter Park Christmas
I got
parade.
6 toothbrushes,
70-something one. Yeah.
Oral-B. They're Oral-B. They weren't even like the BS ones. They're the good ones.
So let's say you get 100 people paying $100 in the parade. That's $10,000. Each advertising, you want to be a sponsor, 2,500, 5,000. I'm
no, you
guessing
have tiers. You have a 2,500, 1,000, and 500.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
750. Let's get 750.
But let's say you get 20,000 in sponsors, 30,000. The police charge you. That's like
that's expensive.
$5,000 in cops, and then
you
the street closures,
you gotta
barricades.
The barricades are expensive.
Yeah. Seems like
you got to rent the radios; those are expensive.
Yeah. Then you get
I don't know if the police charge. I can find out. I'm not 100%
Adam,
sure.
think about what you're saying.
yeah.
Think about. I'm not trying to get you into trouble.
Let's say
think about what you're saying.
Let's say I was a cop. Think I'm doing this for free?
You look like a cop.
Yeah. I want to be a cop.
You are a cop.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many opportunities.
You are a cop.
And you're like, hey, come out here and protect the Winter Park Parade. I'm gonna say, well,
yeah. What are you doing for me?
I mean,
I want you to protect these nuts.
I need I need double time because that's the standard.
Oh, yeah.
And then
you're paying me for a holiday. It's time and a half.
Yeah. Holiday.
Triple pay.
Yeah. So I'm making like $180 an hour to sit in my squad car and eat Chick-fil-A.
I'm doing nothing. All I'm gonna do when the kid gets run over is radio for help. I'm not doing anything.
Yeah. I'll put my hood up. I'll eat some Chick-fil-A. I'm scrolling Bovada. I'll get out. I'm wearing a Santa hat. My wife gave me.
You just do a little bit of. You get that cone. You know the flashlight with the orange thing on it. Like, hey, come on. Keep it moving.
So
keep it moving.
You're paying me. You're paying me like $780 for the night. So that's coming out of the.
And then when I go home, the sad thing is when I go home, I slap everybody around. Can't help myself. No free will. Choices were already made.
Well, I'm angry. I'm drunk too.
You hitched yourself to the angriest wagon.
Yeah. Then I'll take my gun out and do that move where I sit on the side table and then
it's passive. It's a passive aggressive.
The whole family's just looking.
And I regret I even did it.
Yeah.
So let's end real quick with this, Adam. So you've been a docent, which I've learned from Orange County Regional History Center that the new director that is basically a fancy word for intern.
Yeah.
Well, you give tours. You give tours and stuff.
It really comes from the Latin for volunteer teacher is what a docent is, and they're found at museums, zoos, and places like that where basically you're. Like your tour guides at museums and everything, most of those are volunteers because those kinds of places can't afford to pay a ton of people. Now, we do have zoo teachers that are on the payroll there that they pay, but then you can be a volunteer. There's lots of volunteer opportunities at the zoo because it's a non-for-profit organization, and as you guys know, it's a very it's a little bit smaller. It's not like the National Zoo or something, and it's just a wonderful place with wonderful people, and so I got into it. My mother actually did it many years ago.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that. Yeah. It's cool that she sort of passed on like a love for animals, or at least helping out to you. Like, when was your first interaction with the zoo? When did you start?
I've been doing it for 8 years. My 8-year anniversary of my first graduation, because there's 2 parts to the course, but my graduation and becoming a docent was October 1st of 24. So I've been there since 2016.
Oh, wow.
And I did it because my degree is actually in animal biology, and I was a veterinary technician, and I specialized and became a veterinary radiographer for years. And then I was on disability for a few years and had to kind of choose a new career, as it were, and stumbled into what I do now. But just having worked with animals ever since I was young and all my life, I really wanted to do something, and then I remembered my mom did that, and I saw something somewhere, and so I applied, and that's my happy place. If you ever go on one of the night hikes, they have them in March, June, and September, the big public night hikes that we do 3 times a year. I'm always at them unless there's some reason I'm out of town. That's my main thing now, has been the night hikes and snoozes and things like that.
What's a night hike? Will you go to the zoo at night?
You're really going to ask that? You're really going to Hey, what's a night hike?
Well, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, if is there anything more than just...
I feel like
hey, we're opening this place up at night.
You literally just have me on the shoulder. You're like, hey, what does name mean? And we're like taking our SATs.
No, get the hell out of here. It could mean something. Like,
get the hell out of here. Well, what's a night hike?
Well, you're calling it a night. What is this, go to the zoo at night? It's just like, we're open at night. Oh, just call it that.
No, yeah, it's an event. It's limited usually to about a max of about 100 or so people, give or take, and it does sell out most of the time. And basically, that's what they do is we lead you around the zoo at night. We take flashlights, put red cellophane on them if you don't have a red one, so that it doesn't bother the animal's eyes. And we look at all the nocturnal animals that are, a lot of those nocturnal animals, they are there during the day and you see them, but they're really lazy. They really move around and do a lot more because nighttime's the right time for them.
When I got a military flashlight from
my God,
Javier's outside. I know.
Oh yeah,
get the hell out of here.
Look at a weed eater literally at our window. He's like, he's revving the engine.
He's just standing there. I'm looking at you, dude.
There's only a 6-foot square of grass out there. It's not that much,
and it's covered in dog crap. There's no grass there. Why don't you weed eat the dog crap off our grass? For Christ's sake. Well, when I was a kid, I got a tiny flashlight it's shaped like an L. You hold it like a can of soda, and like I bought one of those at the Army and Navy store, and it had a red lens on it. Like it had like a red lens you could put on the flashlight. I remember thinking, this is the color of light you use when you kill terrorists. That's what I thought as a kid. I remember that's what I thought. I was like, this is what they can't say terrorists, can't see red. That's how stupid I was as a child.
Yeah, that's just one of the things that I do, but we have it's a pretty intensive course to get in. You have to pass it with 80% or higher, and but there's other volunteer opportunities too. I highly encourage anybody listening that's interested in doing any volunteer work at the zoo. The people that are there when people feed the giraffes or go see the bears out at the bear house, things like that. We have different positions there, and even what we call the teen team. And there's kids that are out there, and they get volunteer hours doing that as well. And I highly encourage them to go to the website, centralfloridazoo.org. I highly encourage them to look
I'm glad you said that about the volunteer hours. That is important, especially if you have like a young kid that wants to do like National Honor Society or stuff like
Bright Futures.
And Bright Futures as well. Yeah, some of these scholarships that you're going to apply for, even if you do it like very, very early on, you do need, like Maisie did, National Honor Society, and you need volunteer hours. So, actually, she was able to count picking up trash with the side chicks as an hour.
No, really?
Yeah, you can do, like, it does count. So it's good to know that the stuff he's talking about, because, like, I was talking to a parent over at Maisie's Dance yesterday, and she didn't really know, like, where you could pick up hours. And Andrea was kind of schooling the lady on, like, well, you can do this, you can do that, But, yes, knowing that the Central Florida Zoo does that, or, Sanford Zoo does that, that's a big deal.
It turns out that if you just forge a signature and say, like, oh, yeah, these volunteer hours were completed.
It does work.
No one will check.
Yeah, they will. That's if you want no lesson learned. Yeah, I get you. Yeah. There is a quicker way.
There's 0% chance that any institution goes back and calls.
Just ask my resume.
Individual places are like, was Tom Van really here for night out? They'll never do it. Last question, Adam. Because I've always wondered when I'm at the Sanford Zoo and I see the rhino, I thought
You're like, what would happen if I blew weed smoke in its face?
If I jumped in the rhino enclosure and really started effing with it, would it...
What do you mean by effing with it? You're slapping it with your hat?
Well, just like start, agitating
Throw
it.
some snap pops at it.
Like, will it ram kill me?
I love that. Ram kill you.
Will it horn me to death?
I think it's going to horn you up, and then once you land on the ground, it's going to beer can foot stomp you.
Yeah. Would it do that?
If you've ever seen what he does in his spare time, they give him big 55-gallon drum barrels that he just bangs around, flips up in the air, and tears apart. Rhinos are extremely territorial, and if he doesn't know you, like the keepers don't even really go in there with him like that. They have stalls and things to keep them safe, because you never know. The unpredictability of animals is a constant, and yeah, I think PJ, as nice as he is and as lazy as he seems, I think he would have his. It would be a matter of trying to save you. PJ will be fine, but he would definitely knock you around.
I like to tell you and the listeners when I'm feeling like things that are irrational, and I feel like I could go in there unscathed.
Yeah.
And I feel like I could do whatever. I feel like I walk up to him and like pat him on the head, and then he goes to get me, and I feel like almost like a matador. I would just step to the side.
Well,
every effort, even with my hips the way that they are, I'm that confident.
Well,
the good news is they don't see very well and extremely far. The bad news is because of that, they'll just charge what they see moving a lot of times.
Just like Stevie Wonder.
Yeah,
that guy.
Much. I don't
met him
think
one time. Met him one time. He tackled me at Hard Rock Live.
Well, Adam, thanks so much for being involved in Weird Job Wednesday.
Thanks
today.
for being a good sport, buddy. You've listened to us and been a part of what we do for a very long time, and I hope you know how much we appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. I love being a BDM, and SFT to all the BDMs out there.
All right, buddy, SFT.
All right, man. See
ya. You know what's funny is that I text Adam that I was going to call him, and
he sent you a picture of his penis.
No. In November 26, 2017, Adam texts me a picture. This is when the last time we went to the zoo with the boys. Look how small the boys are. This is when I was fat and had my beard, too.
Oh, I like you when you're fat with a beard. Oh, you look like Kenny Rogers.
I'll show Twitch. And
there is a little bit of backlash. People did love Fat Tom. They did. They thought you were fun. You're laughing all the time. You had the high pitched laugh. You had a beard. That guy was fun.
No, that's what people remember. Okay? That they do this with all fat guys that lose weight. They're like, he was more fun fat.
Jonah Hill, like the Jonah Hill,
or anybody. Like and then it's like they're the same person. Nothing's changed.
I don't know. Jelly Roll lost 100 pounds, and he's changed to me.
I can't tell.
Seems like that was a joke.
It literally looks the same. All right, we will be right back. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan.
Our lawyer is sitting on the couch. Mo DeWitt. How you doing, Mo?
Good day, sir.
Injured on the go. Just call Mo. Just call Mo.com if you get in a car accident. If you... really any injury, small injuries.
Don't bother. Call Bus Decker though. Like, hey, is this worthy? Is this injury?
You can waste all of Bus Decker's time.
Bus will tell you. He'll be like, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
And then of course he'll be like, give me a Google review.
Yeah. I mean, how much does Bus Decker know about the law now, Mo?
Oh, he was a cop.
It's a lot, right?
He was a cop.
He was a cop.
He was a cop.
Yeah.
Cop, now lawyer.
He's
basically the next Dan Nolan.
He is. Oh my God, my daughter, I almost kicked her out of my house. She turned to me at breakfast a couple of days ago and goes, I memorized Dan Newland's number. And I was like, whoa, don't say that. Don't say that. Because he's always standing on top
sponsorship bus.
He's always standing on top of the 18-wheeler. And he's like, these trucks are really dangerous. And my daughter's like, what's wrong with his head? I was like, it's Photoshopped. It's Photoshopped.
Enough.
Well, hold on. I have to say this. They do blast the saturation to make his eyes gleam like sapphires. My God, is his sapphire eyes.
So Daniel's got a question for you, Mo.
Yeah, I do.
And this is about his Tesla.
Okay. I didn't know which one you wanted me to start with, the listener question or my question. So my Tesla is currently in the shop. It will be out very, very soon. In not having a car, and because I like my car a lot, and I really do miss wrenching on a conventional style, combustion engine, or at least, the fact that you can do things to it. I have found a product that is aftermarket. It's made in Bulgaria.
Off to a good start.
It's a Tesla. It's called the Tesla knob. Actually, it's called the sexy knob, and I hate the name of it because it's so cringe. But I call it the Tesla knob because I don't like saying anything is sexy because it's like, who says that? Who the hell do I think I am? Brett Michaels? Am I, Brett Michaels?
It's a Bulgarian knob.
Yeah, I'm buying a Tesla Bulgarian knob. And so what I'm doing is I'm going to have to take off on the on the passenger side, the L panel. I take it out. There's a OBD port there, and I'm going to be plugging this in. It's just a pass-through, but I am making a change to my particular car. Now, am I correct in that, is it the Magnus Moss Warranty Act? Is that right?
It's been a while since I took warranty.
Will that protect me in any way? Like, am I allowed to do this, or like?
I mean, you're probably allowed to do it, but it could void the warranty on your car.
You'd have to hide it.
What's the modification that you're making?
Okay,
Can you say or no?
It's literally just like it's like a circuit board that allows you plug it into. It's just a pass through, so it's more like you're able to remotely activate things that your car can do. Right?
Okay.
It's not like you're adding anything really to the car.
Gotcha.
You're more like just adding. Like features that they don't currently offer.
Okay.
You know, but you're not splicing anything, you're not cutting anything, you're not structurally changing the car. In fact, I guess I could take it out if I had service, but is just by doing that a dangerous or bad idea? Because, you know, brand new car, new-ish car, very nice car. I don't necessarily want to just unclip an OBD port, plug something in, and boom, I've killed my warranty.
I mean, if they, I would venture to guess if you looked at your actual warranty contract, it probably says if you modify the vehicle in any way or in certain ways that you're going to void the warranty. So I would guess this could possibly void the warranty if they found out about it. You know, if you brought it in with service, they saw it there, they could certainly probably void your warranty for that.
And I think even after the fact, what worries me is that, like, even after the fact, they're going to have it's just like when something goes wrong here.
Right.
I go in, I pull the data, I throw it into ChatGPT to try and find the source code that it's throwing, the code it's throwing, right, to find out what the problem is.
Yep.
I don't want to... Andrea, but the bottom line is my wife will kill me if I do something stupid to a new car.
Well, I don't know if you'll agree with me, Mo.
But I do like doing stupid things. But I like doing stupid things because what show are we on and who is my business partner?
All right, well, speaking of that...
And you would encourage me to do this because there's nothing more American and freedom than wrenching on your car and making it yours.
Yes, but I think like a greedy businessman, and I'll explain. If I was old Musk, I would have thought, like, the first thing I don't want to do is pay any warranties. Same thing if I'm an insurance head of a company or whatever. I don't want to pay nothing.
Yeah.
I will only want the money.
Right.
So then I will tell my engineers, hey, write some code so that if anybody plugs in anything to this computer and tries to modify anything,
you're done.
It saves an alert there. That way we know if anybody tries. So therefore we could void the warranty because I don't want to pay no money.
But you're also the type of guy that doesn't like it when you're not allowed to do what you want to do to the thing that you want to do it to.
Oh, yeah. I only want what's good for me.
Okay. All right.
On either side. Like, I want to screw the corporations or screw the customers of my corporation.
Let's check in with the chat room. We got our buddy SJ saying, in essence, you're modding the programming. I bet that's a no-no. Then you have my wife chiming in who says, I like how you bought the knob before you asked your attorney the question.
Yeah.
Don't you have any work to do?
What I know about insurance...
Not you, boss. My wife. Sorry, my wife. My wife, Andrea.
So
I love you.
Listen up here when it comes to warranties. And there was a warranty that actually I one time used. I was super surprised.
Oh, is this when we scammed the Volvo warranty?
Don't talk about it. It was a scam.
How many times have I told you guys? Stop committing crimes on the air.
Oh, it's all under the art umbrella. Do you know about the art umbrella?
Hold on a second. Under this art umbrella, didn't I call I thought I called a mechanic buddy of mine who vouched for your transmission in some way that got you a new one.
Here's the thing about warranties. If they
He's
offer
just
you...
right past my comment.
If they offer you a warranty, it's in their best interest. That's it.
Gotcha.
And then
so it's like when the dealer says you want insurance on 21.
Yes, exactly. It's a casino.
Never take it.
It's a casino. It's whatever boost they offer you on Hard Rock Sportsbook. Like, check out this boost. Guess what? It's bad odds for you, the consumer. Good odds for them. That's why they're advertising it. They're trying to steal your money.
I've noticed that. Have you guys seen the commercials, especially during sports, of Jamie Foxx talking about the new second chance program they have for betting? They missed a good opportunity to use his real life as a second chance. Right?
It's true.
Every time I see that commercial, he could have been like, I almost died. Second chance.
Mo, let's get back to the basics for a second.
Back to the basics.
What does that mean? What are we making fires with sticks? What is that? I don't know what you mean.
I got a fire question later. But so the
is this about your son's jacket you caught on fire?
I was down in
got a lot of hate mail about that one.
I was down in Miami recently.
I was there yesterday.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
I bet he wasn't doing what you're doing. You're dancing with 305 Santa Claus. He's enjoying a resort of some sort on a beach.
Oh no! I was in Hell's waiting room. The Miami passport office.
Oh! Oh, my God. I apologize.
Didn't they open one in Central Florida? I thought they heard
but
that.
they burned it to the ground.
Yeah, basically.
I thought that everybody was like, oh, you don't have to go down to Miami anymore. There's a passport office open somewhere in Central Florida now.
We always get ours like FedExed or whatever.
But it was always in Miami, and there was one more
They opened one here, but for what I needed, I still had to go to Miami. Lovely little outing.
Yeah. When you got a bigger one, you get a bigger passport.
And a buddy was telling me about how no one has insurance down there as far as driving insurance, right? And then no one is a stretch. I think he put the odds
1%.
at 51% of the population, a little over half. And then he was like, so he's like, I'm worried about getting an accident. I'll be screwed if I get in an accident. And then I was like, well, hold on. I thought, and this is how stupid I am as an adult living in Florida, that I don't know this 100%. That's why I'm even bringing it up, because I had to research this because I wasn't really sure, but I was like, I thought that your insurance covers yourself if you get in an accident, and if it's an uninsured motorist's fault, that your insurance will end up picking it up. You're not screwed.
I thought that as well.
Well, it depends on the insurance that you have. If you have uninsured motorist coverage and somebody hits you and hurts you, then that uninsured motorist coverage steps into the shoes of the at-fault driver. For property damage, if you have full coverage, then it may help cover if because let me back up. The bare minimum to be on the road is $10,000 in property damage and $10,000 in PIP, which is just your no-fault benefits. You don't have to have anything else. So somebody can smash into your car, cause more than $10,000 in insurance property damage, and then your insurance would step in, assuming that you have full coverage there. But they don't have to have any bodily injury coverage, so they can hit you and hurt you, not have any coverage for that. That's where your uninsured motorist coverage steps in.
Gotcha. So if you don't have uninsured motorists, then you can be screwed if someone hits you, especially if you're hurt.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know this, but BDM stands for Bare Damn Minimum. For most of our listeners, where they just cover what they need, and it's a dangerous drive out there.
Well, here's the thing. I asked Blanchard, I'm like, what's the cheapest?
Oh my God! When I met my wife, like her dad is an insurance. Well, he's retired now. He's an insurance guy, and I remember he asked me what type of insurance I had when I went to meet him. Like, hey, I want to date your daughter type deal. And I literally had like, it was just like, oh, it's an obligation. Just give me the
general.
Give me the number one. I don't even know what it was.
Small.
But he was like, oh my God, did you know that you're driving and like if you hit somebody, the entire family's dead. It was like I had the worst thing. He was like, it was a shameful policy I had. Do you want me to do this question from a listener?
I saw this question on the BDM page. Now, Mo is on our BDM page and will pop in and did actually pop in on this question. And
then we don't need to ask it.
No, but this, I'm sure a lot of people have dealt with some sort of issue like this, and I'm curious.
My wife might be dealing with this right now. My mentally incapacitated uncle, dementia in a long-term facility, the uncle's wife died unexpectedly. He has no living children, just 3 sisters, my mom being one. His wife's sister and her 2 sons are now occupying his waterfront estate. And then in parentheses, mind you, he's not dead, and the property's appraiser's website lists his trust as the owner of the property. We have no idea who the power of attorney is now for my uncle or how to find out. We are afraid that the wife's sister might destroy any document she finds and try to claim my uncle's property. Can my mom put a lock on the house when the squatters aren't there? Help. There you go.
Now, just before we start,
this sounds like a lot of fun.
The act of destroying documents.
I've done this. I've never destroyed documents, but I did destroy DAT tapes that could have been used in a deposition in a lawsuit against Real Radio.
It's just one of my favorite, like shredding documents or burning them.
No, I pulled tape out.
In a panic.
I was pulling tape out. Does that count?
Well, it seems pointless in 2025 because
burn the boats. You got to burn the boats.
It seems like everything is backed up on some hard drive, destroying your will or your trust.
Just like my car, I can't do anything to it. There's a backup.
It's backed up somewhere.
You smash your phone with a hammer. It's still all on the cloud.
Yeah. So,
but I still want to do that for some reason. I had a couple just last weekend. I found a couple old computers. I beat them with a hammer. I was like, that'll get it.
So what do you think, Mo?
I mean, in this case, they said the trust owns the home, so whoever is the trustee of that trust, and you should be able to find the trust based on whatever attorney drafted it. They should probably have a copy. Hopefully you can find a copy of it, but whoever is the trustee of that trust controls the home, and so they could evict people on behalf of that trust. They have control over it. So presumably it's probably the wife or whoever was made the trustee, but you do have to find that out.
And if the wife was the head of the trust, whoever made the trust has stipulations. If you die, who
right,
then
exactly,
takes it over.
Or if you're incapacitated. Those are. I'm making some assumptions here, but typically those are kind of standard provisions in a trust that if you're incapacitated or if you're no longer living, then either something's going to happen, essentially.
Secret bucket list item. I've always wanted to use my powers of charm to get an elderly person to sign something to me. Anything. It could be something small, something, a bag of candy, but just I want them to not really have an idea of what's happening. And I just want to use the tone of my voice and the kind words coming out of my mouth. I think I can convince an old person with just charm
to
give me something.
To leave you something.
Give me your necklace, old lady. And then, I think I could talk to her in a sweet way using things, like around Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy from Company B, She's like, I was singing in the day. And then she's like, why don't you sign right here? Oh, yeah, why don't you sign an autograph for me? Katharine Hepburn. I'm throwing all these things. And then she signed. Oh, yes.
Yeah, but then the family comes in and
I'll give it back. I'll give it back. I just want to see if I can do it.
Oh, okay.
I'll give it back.
Just an accomplishment.
It's literally just a C.
Hard to give things back. I've already spent the money in my mind.
I did have a case one time where this guy was driving an elderly person to go change their estate plan to benefit him.
Yes.
And on the way to the lawyer's office, the person died in his car.
What?
Oh, man.
I didn't mean to scream. I'm sorry, but that's awesome. That's oh, my God. That's the law offices of Thomas Mann.
It reminds me of that Batman meme where he's yelling at whatever his girlfriend is. And he's like, hold on. And she's like, and then he's jumping through the waterfall. You're screaming at your grandpa, don't die yet. You haven't signed everything over to me.
What do you do at that point?
Oh,
do you turn around? Do you turn around and go back, or do you go to the office?
You're still warm.
Yeah. I don't know what you do. Do you go right to the hospital?
You do what gang members do. You kick them out on the emergency room.
I've always wanted to do that, too. That's on my bucket list as well.
You drive away.
I've always wanted to, but no, it's me in the back. There's two people in the front, and for some reason, we're like in a Buick LeSabre, and we pull up fast, and the back seat opens up, and you roll them out of the back seat with a couple of gunshot wounds.
Going back to the basics, Mo, I see this question a lot on the BDM page, and every time I see it, I want to comment, just move on, it's not worth the trouble, when they talk about wrongful terminations.
Oh, yeah. I've seen a few of those lately.
Yeah. And for
a lot of people getting fired. We get a lot of losers that listen to this thing. I don't know if you know that.
You know what's funny?
A lot of bad hombres.
Is I will accept any reason, even if the reason is I hate white people, as the reason that they're firing me. In fact, the I hate white people reason seems like a that's a good reason to fire me.
You're like, well, it's a good thing you fired me because I'm white. Is that how you feel?
Well, no. I'm just saying, like I work for someone and then they fire me. I'm just like, well, that's their, they fired me.
It's a right to work state, right?
They fired me for whatever reason that I just move on.
Can I fire Tom for being white?
That's probably racial discrimination.
Yeah.
So.
But
only if he brings it up, though, right? If he's cool with, he's like, well, I understand that you don't like white people, and I'll pack up my things. If that happens, then you're good to go.
No, you need it in writing. Mo knows. You have to have everything.
It's not what you know, it's what you can prove.
Yeah. And that's the thing with all these, if you do have a shot at any wrongful termination, you need a mountain of evidence, right?
You need a mountain of evidence, and typically, like you said, Florida's a right-to-work state, so unless it's a discriminatory practice, where they're discriminating against you in your protected class, that's usually the only time you can bring some sort of case like that. Like if they fire you, if you're pregnant, that's a protected class. Of course, there's still, wage and hour violations if they don't pay you, if they didn't pay the right wages. There are still types of cases, but when people say wrongful termination, basically they fired me and I don't like the reason why, or I don't think it was justified, that's typically not a case.
What do we have? If ladies have pregnancy, what do we have, gout? What do men have? What do we have if we're like, you can't fire me, I have gout? Like, what do we have?
We got a lot of butt issues.
Butt. Write that down. Butt. Hemorrhoids. Roids, fissures.
Yeah. And then there's prostate problems.
That's
it's inflamed.
I can't even sit down. I'm like a baboon.
Let's end with this, Mo, because everybody sees the devastation of the California fires, and it's crazy and horrible what's happening over there. But
that's not what you said this morning.
I have
You're making a lot of off-color. You're making a lot of like hunk of burning love jokes and stuff.
But I have seen a lot of stories recently about, because everybody, when tragedies happen like this, everybody wants to assign blame and look for the reason, and like, why did this happen?
I blame old Gavin Newscomb.
And so I saw the story
I don't
about
even know who that is, by the way.
How the L.A. fire departments were severely underfunded, or like one of the most underfunded fire departments in the United States, and like then there was a bunch of stories
about... They were using garden hoses on the trucks. I saw it. No, that's misinformation. I shouldn't say that.
About like some of the other mishandlings of public officials and stuff. So is there, and do you see any possibility of some class action lawsuit against the California government in the future, if all these residents banded together or whatever and saying like, hey, you were negligent in providing fire protection because of these...
As a state?
As a state. I know it's hard to sue a state and sue the government.
Big turd fly flatter.
I saw it. Why even...
gigantic.
Why just ignore it? We have
I can't. Look how big it is.
Here.
Look how big the turd fly is. That is like a grade A. That is a grade A blue-eyed horsefly. Like that. I feel like I'm out in Ocala on a horse ranch right now.
And this is the studio I sponsor.
I know.
Unbelievable.
I know.
Well, it's not our fault.
I got to put some roach traps out here.
It's not roaches.
I got to clean this place up.
It's flies.
This place is a dump.
So what do you think, Mo?
Well, I mean, the government makes the laws, so typically it's difficult to sue the government, and they may pass some laws to protect themselves if they need to. I'm not familiar with California law. I'm not a California attorney, but usually, they have sovereign immunity, so they're going to limit the amount that you can sue them for, if you can even sue them at all. Now, I mean, there was the case of the Malibu fires, and that was a little different, where the power company started those fires, and so there's been kind of a class action lawsuit against the power company out there for all the damage that was caused. But when you're dealing with the government and their response to things like that, at least in Florida, it's very, very difficult to sue them. It may be impossible to sue them, but again, it's going to depend on California law.
Gotcha. Yeah,
it sounds like it's probably ain't going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, that would be my guess.
Yeah, it sounds like a bit of an SOL scenario, which is what makes it so terrifyingly sad. Especially the people. I saw Josh Wolf, the famous comedian. We all know him and love him. He's coming here a bunch of times. And he was making some pretty good points about people's attitude is so cavalier when it comes to this stuff. When you do see celebrities and people that you knew have a lot, you think, oh, well, you're able to rebuild. Who cares if your house burns down? But you're not thinking about the memories and the pictures and the your entire life's works in some ways being destroyed. I mean, it's even though you have money and you'll be okay. I mean, everybody's going to be okay, but it's not about that. I mean, it's bigger than that.
I saw David Spade on TikTok, which they're taking our TikTok, Mo.
Should we talk? Should we end on that?
We were talking about it, earlier this week, and it just seems like it's all a matter of the U.S. government doesn't want a social media platform that's Chinese owned, influencing so many Americans, and they're afraid of that, right?
That's what really it seems like. I mean, it seems like there's something going on behind the scenes that we don't really know about, because they really haven't disclosed what the actual reason or the actual concern is, besides sort of security, quote unquote, or tracking us or whatever it may be. So it seems like there's something more going on there. We'll see what happens to it. I mean, I find it hard to believe that it will actually disappear, but maybe it will.
Because there's too much money involved.
I think it has to. I'm with you, but I'd go a step further. It's an illusion. It will disappear, but it's with full intentions of it coming back.
Yeah.
I think it
American-owned?
Yeah, but I think it has to go away in order to have somebody play hero. It's going to be politicized in some way. And whoever saves it is going to use that fuel to make to make their image look good.
That's democracy is
that's why
politicians need votes.
I honestly thought, just with all the hubbub of conservatives being messages being censored or held down, that it would make sense for me to see it go away and then have Trump save it as a way to look good. I mean, that makes sense to me. So that would be my guess. But there's a competitor that they're adding, Red something. I'm trying to find it.
Red Note. So that's
Red
the
Note.
Chinese version.
Yeah, you can get on Red Note now.
Which is apparently a pretty interesting place right now because the entire app's in Mandarin. So you have to convert the language to English. But then all these people in China are now seeing all these Americans come on. And so it's like they're accepting all these refugees from TikTok and trying to teach the Americans how to use this Red Note thing.
It's like a reverse Ellis Island.
Yeah.
What's your Chinese name going to be?
I don't know. We'll have to
you get
figure
to
it
pick
out.
a Chinese. Oh my God! I've always wanted to do that. We're coming over on the boat, but it's a digital boat, and I get to pick a Chinese name.
Yeah, but
I know my name. I am some young boy. I've always wanted to be some young boy ever since the 90s when I saw the poster at Spencer's. I can't say the first part. First name I can't say, but my last name is some young boy.
I've always wanted a pee-pee Coke just to see.
Welcome back
just to see
our new TikTok channel. It's some young boy in pee-pee Coke.
Maybe it's good. I don't know. I'm sorry, Mo.
The last time Mo's going to be on the show.
Please keep sponsoring us. If you're injured on the go, just call Mo.
Yes, sir.
How was that chicken parm you just had today?
That's pretty good. Pretty good.
Oh, that sounds bad to me. I don't know. That sounds like a little bit of shade. The fly's back.
Bustecker invited us to go eat chicken parm with you, but I'm
said,
like,
absolutely not. I hate that.
but I was like, Bustecker, we have work to do. It's
I can't
the middle of work
after
there.
chicken parm. I'm so tired.
I may take a nap on your couch if that's okay.
Fat and tired. Like, I'm trying to be exciting and make some jokes. All I want to do is like just lay down. So good to see you guys though, and happy New Year, guys.
Yeah, we'll talk to you soon, and we'll be right back with more Corporate Time.
Welcome back to a Corporate Time.
So, what did you want to tell me about Snoop Dogg?
What did you know? Like, I kind of feel like why did I miss this? Why did this just happen in 2023? Apparently, where was this when Tommy and Max and Maisie were young? Did you know that Snoop Dogg has a kids' nursery rhyme show called Doggyland?
I did not.
Well, I'm about to play some Doggyland for you. This is the song "Parents Are Great," which is Snoop Dogg would never say that, by the way, ever. He would never say this is exactly what happened to Howard Stern. You know, you got women sitting on a simian, and then 10 years later, you're drinking Snapple and you're telling a boy with Down syndrome that he's the most inspirational singer you've ever seen, right? Like that's not a okay. Here is Snoop Dogg. This is and for those of you with kids, I mean, he's got a whole.
It is outside of his brand, but I guess not current Snoop Dogg.
This is "Parents Are Great" by Snoop Dogg. Doggyland.
Wow, wow.
Wow, wow, wow.
Wow, wow, wow.
Wow, wow, wow.
When you're done playing with your toys, what should you do?
My mom and dad say to clean up my toys when I'm done playing.
I like the dumb white guy is that.
So it's just his voice.
Snoop Dogg's like, my mom and dad say it. Hey, what up, cousin? You got to pick up your toys, big boy.
Now,
what's crack? I like it. You got to pick up these toys.
I wonder.
That's right.
Who
you should
convinced
listen
him?
to your parents. They love you and know what's best for you.
Parents are great.
Hold on. This is 2 years ago, so maybe the technology wasn't there, or maybe they had it before we were exposed to it.
No, this isn't AI.
Oh, okay. Because
no.
Did they just lend it his like? Did you just have him record like a paragraph and then
his name is not Snoop Dogg in Doggyland. His name is Bow Wizzle.
Because I started looking at it, I was like, did he go into a recording studio and record this like a cartoon? Because
it's possible. I don't think this is AI, though. These are just cartoon dogs dancing, and I think this is actual music. Grown-ups are great. They know the way. Listen to what they say. Okay, what do you think of that? What do you think of Bow Wizzle and Doggyland?
I don't know if anybody wanted this. That's what I think. Like, I don't know if anybody like, hey, I wish Snoop Dogg did an animated cartoon where, you know, my kids could watch it.
It's not anything that Snoop Dogg would ever say, though. Parents are great. It's the first time he's ever said that phrase in his life.
That's what makes me think that maybe he just, like, through some voice software, they were like, hey, just linear voice, read this paragraph, and then we'll do everything else. And then so
I was challenged on the Tom and Dan Reddit. Like, somebody on the Reddit put this up there, and thank you again for participating and putting this up there for us to talk about, and said, I think Dan could do better with AI. And I believe I did. Unbeknownst to you, behind the scenes, I have worked on a real Snoop Dogg children's song.
Okay.
That also sounds like Snoop Dogg.
All right.
And it's more, I think it's more on brand for Snoop than this garbage. This is not Snoop.
Okay, so hold on, how'd you make a Snoop Dogg AI voice?
There are ways. I didn't have to load Snoop Dogg's voice in any way.
Okay.
But if you can trick the computer into reading Snoop Dogg or the word Snoop Dogg without the sensor catching the word Snoop Dogg or the name, the what do they call
the spelling?
That? Yeah, if you can what do they call that? A specific name, like a private name.
Okay.
Like if you can trick it, then you can actually get it to do anything you want. So here's mine.
How do you trick it?
Like, so for if you wanted a song that sounded like Limp Bizkit, then you need to spell like LEMPPBIZCUITTE.
And then, so it knows, it's like, oh, this guy's trying to get around the rules.
I don't know if it knows. But okay.
But
you
they don't make it as, yes, I do. I'm curious.
Okay, I think I hit a home run with this. This is Snoop Dogg written by me. The song is called Single Dad. Here we go.
When the dad says jump, you say how high. I'm dad, motherfucker. Do what I say or you die. It's just me and you, cause your mama's a hoe, a broke ass, single dad in Orlando.
Listen to your dad. I know he's a piece of shit, but he's all that you got until you can't escape it. Single dad, why you so bad? Single dad, he gets so mad.
Shut the up, you f***ing mistake. I should have never f***ed your whole ass mom. Come on.
What do you think? The beginning goes, though, right? The beginning of Snoop. Listen to this beginning again, dude. I got Snoop. Listen to Snoop again. Here.
You guys just have a lot of editing.
You say how high. I'm dad, motherfucker. Do what I say or you die. It's just me and you, cause your mama's a hoe, a broke ass, single dad in Orlando.
Dude, I'm telling you, that's Snoop. That's a Snoop Dogg cadence. I got it.
It has the Snoop Dogg cadence. It maybe massage it a little more until
I got it.
But it for sure.
A broke ass dad in Orlando, baby Bubba.
Like by spelling the name wrong,
you
tricked it into getting the essence of it.
Thank you, Kendall. Kendall in our Twitch chat room said he heard mystical. That's because I spelled mystical wrong too. The guy screaming at the end that's like, I should have never ifed you broken mind. That guy, that's mystical. That's digital mystical. So I made a digital Snoop and a digital mystical, and they're my friends. And I write songs with them now.
So do you like? Okay,
that's so funny that you picked up on that. So for that one, I put in I spelled. I tried to do Nate Dogg. I don't think he's well known enough to flag, right? So, the word Snoop Dogg probably top 3 most famous rappers of all time, right?
Because if you put Snoop Dogg in there, it'll
flag it.
It'll just say error.
It'll flag it.
Okay.
You can't even put Snoop. It'll flag it.
Because the business, Sonos or whatever, is that it?
No, this one is Suno.ai.
Okay, Suno.
Sonos is a speaker company, but good try. I like that. Sonos, right? The Digifiles.
So this company obviously is trying to protect itself from lawsuits.
But not that much. It's kind of like Elon Musk. They're protecting themselves, but not that much. You know what I mean? It's weird. It's weird how they're, I believe that they know what they're doing. That is the essence of Snoop Dogg. Do I believe that should be shut down? I do. I do believe that. I don't believe that you should be able to go to a machine and have it steal the essence of Snoop Dogg. I don't like that. I don't.
The thing, though, no one would believe that is actual Snoop Dogg. It doesn't sound enough like him to trick someone to thinking it's Snoop Dogg. But
I
style,
think you're underestimating how stupid people are.
You're stealing his style. And I guess everybody does that, right? Like everybody,
depends on how much you do.
Borrows from the style of.
Well, that's called influence.
What yeah.
Influence is different than stealing someone's complete style. Anyway, I thought it was pretty cool.
So, do you think, going back to my theory that Snoop Dogg just recorded his voice and then they are just using it in this cartoon, so he doesn't have to go and read off a script? I'm sure he's at his own home studio now, so it's easier than ever.
He's probably had it for years.
Yeah. So he doesn't have to go anywhere. He just goes into his room in his mansion and then records a script. But
the chat room's asking if you can write in the style of. Yeah, you can, but sometimes it doesn't even want to do that. Like, you almost have to
But if you spell his name wrong, then it will do it.
It will.
Yeah.
It'll come closer to doing that. But sometimes you can spell it so wrong it doesn't even know what it is. It really is like rolling dice. You're not doing anything. And that's what I try to tell people.
We're just putting in prompts and hoping that...
now, the one thing that I will give myself credit with is that I'm good with cadences. I'm good with alliteration. I'm good with bending words to fit a poem. I'm good with that. I can write a poem. I'm really good at that. But that's all I'm doing.
Yeah, and then it's putting it all together.
Yeah.
But, so in the future, if they won't do this with any sort of big project like a Pixar movie. Obviously, it's, there's way too much money in the line. But for,
depends on how good it gets, right?
Throwaway stuff and, if you're a celebrity and you got to recognize
Pat
voice.
McAfee used it for college football. That's the only place I've seen it.
Wait, with what?
You didn't see that video where the McAfee had they did a theme song for the college football playoffs, and then they played it and it's like a cartoon, but you could tell that the actual song was written by AI, and then him and the guys are all clapping afterwards and stuff.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. It was a couple months ago, when we started playoffs. And
I've listened to some fantasy football podcasts. They're all using AI now.
Yeah.
They're using it to write on their website stats and updates and reports for players and stuff.
Yeah.
They're just using AI to do all that. But back to lending your voice to whatever, obviously, for instance, you're Snoop Dogg and you don't want to start, having to do the pain in the ass of reading scripts every Friday for this cartoon that you're putting out, right?
That's why you need a brother like Tom Hanks. You need Gary Hanks to come in and do all the
voiceover.
He has I forget his brother's name, but for all the Toy Story cartoons, toys, and video games, his brother does Woody.
Yeah.
So they have kind of separated the two. He's the main Woody, and then the auxiliary, the step down. It's almost like being a Santa Claus at the mall. You're like a Woody helper.
I'm sure nowadays they just take his voice and insert it into all these different characters because the technology is good enough now.
I don't know. I don't know if they would.
Well, I mean,
it depends on how quick. Here's where there's still strengths. Getting Gary Hanks, I forget his brother's real name, but getting Tom Hanks' brother to cut it is going to save you more time. It's going to be faster because you can tell him exactly what to say and he'll do it exactly the way you say it. Versus AI, there's almost this randomness you have to massage, which is a bit of a time suck.
Yeah. Well,
it'll get better though.
Like I said, for really big, important movies, they wouldn't do this. But for throwaway cartoons or for projects that you're I don't care, I lend my voice to this, just pay me for it.
Yeah.
And then it's just you just, have them take your voice and do whatever they want with it.
Yeah.
With your permission. But, you're going to infinite cartoons. Who cares? It'll read each script. We even mess around with it a little bit.
Yeah, we have.
And cheap consumer grade versions. And did we ever play any of those commercials that we read a little paragraph?
I ran out of credits, and it's one of the ones I don't truly subscribe to. Everything you do now is small, tiny microtransactions of you need for everything you do in the AI world. You need Bitcoin to buy credits, and then every time you use AI, it's you got to use 6-digit credits. I'm can't you just make it $3 a transaction? Why do we got to make everything the future?
Or unlimited for a monthly fee, but they probably have that, right? Like you pay that. It's everything is
I
a la
mean,
carte.
Yeah, everything seemed like even the music that we do is we have a finite amount of credits. So I have to be careful with it. Like you can burn them fast.
Yeah, then you're just wasting a bunch of money unless yeah. And I'm kind of glad it decreases the digital garbage that we're filling the internet up with and servers around the world. Like that is something I never thought I'd ever even think about in the back of my mind.
Every click is one Amazon fish dead. You click it, boom, like the fish is dead. One click, rainforest tree gone, incinerated.
Even when I'll take, and I'm sure everybody does this, or if you want to remember something that you like. I write something down, and then I'm like, I need to put this in my phone. Instead of rewriting it on my notepad or whatever, just take a picture of it. And I'm taking this like high pixel rate, super large file picture of some nonsense that I wrote, just so I can go to my pictures and say,
like BDM sticker.
And then and then you fill your phone with it, and then you get extra storage or whatever, and then you realize you're like, man, I have a lot of this digital garbage, even that I'm storing for no reason. And then I know you could have programs that go clean it out and like whatever, but I'm too lazy to.
And I don't trust those because normally when I use any of those programs that are made to clean files, I remember when it was all the rage to have like some of those programs clean up your iTunes. All it did was junk up my computer with more like some sort of garbage, like trying to sell me more crap. All of them are scams. They're like, oh, we'll organize this once you watch all of our videos or whatever. Everything's a scam. Everything's opportunist. No free will.
That has nothing to do with this.
I just wanted to yell that.
It's just everybody trying to make a buck. It is even with like when we're researching stuff for the show, the amount of times that I click on a story and then it's like, if you want to read the story, you have to pay subscribe, or sign up, give me your email, and then it's free, but we just need your email. And I'm like, and then I'll just search the headline of the story, and I'll find it. Because it's all written by AI anyway, or something. It's all nonsense. And I'm like, God, it is turning into...
nothing. It's turning into a nothing.
Yeah. Like
I've been doing this lately. Tell me if you like this. So we get a lot of, especially... We are working, I believe you and I are working in one of the most spammed email professions of anything. Like the number of spam emails I get from people that want to just take advantage of podcasters is off the chart. And they're always AI generated. And this is how they try to get you. They try to overly humanize themselves. What I mean by that is like when they write the email, they'll be like, hey, Dan, it's Jerry. I'm taking over for Samantha, who used to be your contact with XJ1AI. I'm like, no, this is all fake. You're making this. It never happened. So I copy and paste their entire email because they're usually long. If they're long, it was always AI written. Humans don't write that much. So you copy the whole thing, put it into ChatGPT, and then I have them write a snarky email back. So now I just have the robots fighting with each other. I just have robots replying to. So I get spam, and then I have my robots spam them back. It's a war. It's a spam war.
Yeah, but you're spamming someone who doesn't care.
Yeah, yes, I am. And all the while, the energy I'm using, killing the rainforest. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think of my plan?
I like the fact that, and I think about this, I'm like, at least someone's learning how we could do this. because I can't. So I'm like, I'm relying on you.
On me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because this is the future.
Yeah, but I'm sick of it. I hate it.
No, you can't hate it.
I hate it. I hate it so much.
We'll never hire anybody to do anything.
I know.
You showed me that we could do everything.
Did you take the job postings down? We had a lot. We had a lot of job postings, and we've taken them all down. Last night, I was working on something. Last night, I sent you that logo, a BDM logo that I just wanted to try. I knew I could do it, and I sent it to you. And it is empowering when you can like do things like when you can draw and you're not truly an artist. It's empowering. You feel like a god, right?
I heard Neil deGrasse Tyson on TikTok talk about the end of the internet or whatever, and I know we talked about it, but he was like, the people that think everything's fake news, right, and everything's fake, and then they'll start to even eventually believe that the news they thought was real was fake news. because it does. But you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right, yeah.
because they're skeptical, right? So it's like if you are like, oh, this is not real, fake news, and then you're like, I only listen to this because they tell the truth. Then you hear something you don't like or you're like skeptical of, and you're like, well, this is fake news. And then you can only do that so much where all of a sudden everything's fake, and then now you've gotten to a point where you don't believe
I'm drowning
anything.
now. I don't know what to do.
And so then what happens then is like, well, you distrust everything you've ever seen on the internet.
Well, I think there's two ways.
Now it's dead.
But I think there's two ways. I think you either distrust or you go into what I'm kind of like an apoplectic, not caring state.
Yeah.
And I do feel like a lot of my contemporaries and people I talk to are in that not caring phase. Like, well, we don't know what to believe. I'm waiting to die.
Yeah. Really?
Right?
I'll wait and if something real happens, and if something real happens, I'll feel the heat.
I like that. Yeah.
I'll see the explosion and the light that comes, or the blast. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right. We will see you tomorrow. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We are live on Twitch and YouTube. Go there and search at Tom and Dan Live. Support your local podcast that has now become a live stream.
On the couch, sitting on pillows of their own faces, which has caused a lot of confusion with the guests throughout the years.
They're strange pillows.
To the point of
some people put those pillows under their butts. Some people put them to hide their crotches.
Because everybody always asks, who are these people on the pillows?
Yeah.
And then
some people recognize your wife, and they're
Who's that man with
who's
her?
that man with your wife multiple times at Christmas? And I say that's her first marriage. They have children. But they work it out so the kids have a normal Christmas.
Before I can even respond, Daniel starts with joke answers, which causes confusion with the guests, and then it snowballs down.
I say Tommy and Max were originally born. They're Bart's sons, but Tom raises them because Bart didn't want to have anything to do with them.
The Bart Merrick team is here. How
I
you
don't
doing?
say that.
What's going on, guys?
I wouldn't make you look like that, Bart. I don't say that.
The first pillow was just a joke. It was something I bought on some website
I thought
for
it was like
$15.
an accident, wasn't it? You ordered the cards and then they sent a pillow as a like, hey, you bought so many cards. Here's a pillow.
I was ordering the Christmas cards, and as you're checking out, it goes, would you like to buy a pillow with the picture on it? Or a coffee mug, or whatever. All sorts of different things. So I figured I'd order one, send it over.
Yeah.
And I got a whole...
And then it's become a tradition. There's more at the Airbnb.
So we have multiples of them.
Yeah.
We do have a phone call quickly before we... Thanks for calling A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. Who's this?
Hey, Dan, it's LJ, South Carolina.
Hey, what's going on, man? We do have the Bart Merrick team here, so if you are calling about something disgusting, I will ask politely that you not say it, and if it is something disgusting, I will hang up on you, and then you can call back and leave a voicemail message, okay?
Well, I was just calling since Tom said Thursdays at 1 was open phone line.
I know.
I forgot about it.
We've already forgotten our own bid.
No, we can do open phone lines.
Okay.
What do you want to talk about?
Okay, today is open phone lines with the Bart Merrick team. Ask your realtor question live.
You got a question for the Bart Merrick team?
No, I just had a short story about picking up some Hispanics from Home Depot.
Perfect. That's on brand. Yeah, the Bart Merrick team supports our Latin brethren.
Close enough. Go ahead.
So I own my own GC, and I usually pick up, day hands from Home Depot or Lowe's or whatnot. And I picked up 3 Hispanic gentlemen the other morning, driving them to the job site. They rode in the bed of the truck. And I started hearing thumping on my roof, and I didn't know what in the world was going on. And I brake checked them a little bit to get them to stop. And,
sit down back there. Sit down back there, you savages.
Yeah, you weren't like, is there an emergency?
I'm going to brake check them down.
Don't make me get my whip.
Don't make me make you spill your big gulp. I'll brake check you till you spill your big gulp. Sit down back there.
No, I've picked them up before. They're pretty good dudes. But anyways, they just kept banging on the roof, and I didn't know what was going on. So anyways, get to the job site, they get out. They all scurry off and go do their thing, and I look at the bed of my truck.
You're not roaches. Jesus Christ, man.
There's literally in the bed of my truck about a 4-inch turd.
They pooped in your truck.
He was letting you know. Well, normally, what kind of truck do you have?
Also,
hold on, what kind of truck do you have?
Small poop.
An F-150.
Okay, they normally do put the flush button on the top of the. They normally put the flush button on the top of the cab. You got to hit it 6 times. They'll flush it right out.
So were they
flush it right out the left tail light?
Were they trying to warn you that
I don't know if they were trying to warn me or if when I brake checked them, that's when literally went down.
Oh, come on, man. What did I say? What did I say at the beginning of this call?
So they do it in the back of your truck.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Now, you would think, though, that would be counterproductive to the goal of getting paid for that day.
It's better than getting arrested for crapping out the back of the truck while he's going down the road.
Well,
surprisingly, none of them admitted to it. So I grabbed the hose and made all 3 of them stand there and spray it out of the bed of my truck.
Oh, what are you, their dad? Oh, come on. Just spray it out of there.
Hold on. How awkward is that conversation where you're like, hey, get back here. Someone doo-dooed in my truck. Spray it out now.
Yeah,
and
all right.
You stand there with your arms crossed.
Spray it out. I see some nugs.
They didn't know what I was saying. I didn't know what they were saying. I just pointed, and they all looked at each other in guilt.
Maybe it was already there, and they were letting you know, like, hey, man, there's somebody pooped back here. I'm not riding.
I like your positive answer.
I'm not riding to work in these conditions.
I like your positive answer. That's you know what? That's a good American giving that.
Anyway, nice real estate topic.
Thanks for calling.
Crystal always feels bad for the perpetrator.
Well, you don't know that
She's right. I mean, she's a damn good attorney. I tell you right now, if I crap in somebody's truck, I know who I'm calling to defend me. It's going to be Crystal Van, the Bart Merrick team. Sorry, I'll cut that part out if you'd like, Bart.
Yeah. Was John Bonet really annoying?
Defending a monster.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have said
Was
that.
that me? Or was that somebody?
No, I was saying that you're defending.
You said I defend the perpetrator.
And I've never heard the story about her pooping in the back of a truck. I never heard that
Shouldn't
one.
have said that.
All right.
Oh, child murder.
Why'd you bring that up?
I paused. I was like, I shouldn't say it. Then I'm like, say it, you P word.
By the way, this is the team your wife is on. You invite them in, and you're like, child murder.
Have guys call it about doo-dooing their truck.
Next caller.
All right.
All right, quickly into the next hard left turn.
Let's real quick, and then I got
a hard left turn.
I
see what you did there.
I have a story for you guys. It involves Crystal.
Is this gripes? Hold on.
No, not gripes.
Just observations. They are not just gripes. These are just things I noticed while I'm living my life.
I'm just living my life.
I'm not complaining about my loving wife. These are just observations. They are not just gripes.
They're not gripes.
About my wife. These are just observations. They are not just gripes. They are not just gripes.
Who is that?
About my wife.
It's Digital Nate
Is
Dogg.
that AI?
But
But did you put in Nate Dogg? 'Cause it really did sound a little
it's Digital
familiar.
Nate Dogg. Tom is not kidding when he says that they are my only friends. That's Digital Nate Dogg. You'll meet him later.
We live in a world now where you can steal anything and everything.
Yeah,
art doesn't have no value.
I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't think I was gay, but I might be falling in love with Digital Nate Dogg.
So let's talk about like purchasing a house, because I know from experience at this point in time, I've heard Crystal do so many house transactions, and she's told me
that
so
you
much.
think you can do it?
Oh, I can do it. Yeah.
God, that's the meanest thing you say. It really is.
Well, she thinks she can do my job. She tells me all the time.
I do sometimes.
You should go with Crystal and try to sell a house.
She's really funny. Have you?
I can sell it.
Oh man, have you ever heard her tell a story? She's really good and very funny. Well, and she laughs sometimes at my jokes.
Well, first, if I pull up with a client, I'm like, you're going to buy this? You're not going to waste my damn time? That's the first thing I'm going to say. I'm like, do you really want to buy this, or are you just looking around?
I'm not opening this door for some looky-loo.
Yeah. Like, I need proof. Do you text your wife that you like this and you were going to buy it?
You listen to me good. Before we go in there, I don't want one word about a ceiling fan. They can be changed, you moron.
Yeah, I don't care about the color of the house, all whatever. You're going to buy it or not? I'm not even driving that. I'm at home right now. Like, I need to know 95% you're going to buy it. Anyway.
It's more likely, though, that you would be in the house telling them all of your knowledge, and they would be inching towards the door, backing away.
Slowly, wasting their time.
You're wasting their time.
I love wasting people's time.
No, we don't.
We'll
be right back.
Back to the topic. So the best the best time to sell your house is the spring or the
we're
early
coming up
summer?
to it. Usually, it starts picking up somewhere around the middle of February, beginning of March, and then it gets real good through about June. But once we cross into the 4th of July, it slows down until we get closer to like August,
After
September,
Labor Day.
somewhere in there.
Yeah, I'd say after Labor
And then we get a little bump into November, and then it slows down. And where we're at right now is we're coming out of the holidays, so it's slow, and we can feel it picking up right now. We're getting calls, but it probably won't be business as usual for another 3-4 weeks.
But you do have to prepare because a lot of people I want to sell my house, and there are there's things that you have to do sometimes, and then
one of the things I would do is hose the turds out of my truck before people come over. Clean up a little bit.
And how long does that preparation usually take for the average seller?
Well, we all come out and usually walk through a house with an owner and give advice on how to prep the house for sale.
You should have Tom do that.
We do that months in advance. You want to come?
I'd video that. Oh my!
But we could do that months in advance. We could do it 2 days before we list. We could do it. We could usually get a house listed in about 2 to 3 days.
We don't usually recommend that a lot of money or time be spent prepping a house unless it really needs it. There's a couple little points that we tell you, to make sure you focus on, but for the most part, we're not in there telling you to renovate and.
I like it.
I feel like Tom would tell me to renovate. I feel like that's the difference in the Barbaric team and the Tom Van team.
Who built this?
Yeah. It's like he's gonna be banging on things. He moving it. And
he's Dwight Schrute at the top of the stairs.
Try to make me feel.
This banister is loose.
Yeah. Then he tried to make me feel stupid about something I said in front of him. And he was like, "Actually, it's not." But actually,
I don't know.
My all-time favorite thing is when, and this is not based on no example, just my own imagination, is when someone lives in a house for, let's say, like a decade, right? And then right before they sell it, they change everything to the way they really wanted it, and then right before it's sold, they're like, "I wish I lived here."
Yeah. A lot of people do that.
And they're like, "Why did you? You should have done that at the beginning and lived the quality of life for 10 years. Why'd you do it right before you sold it?"
You're 100% right. I know people right now that are doing that. They're literally renovating a house they're selling, and the more they renovate, the more they're like, "We love this." And I'm like, "Well, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Stop!"
And then you have to sell the thing you love.
Sometimes Bart and I will, the main thing we tell people is to declutter. Because that's, I think, most people's problem is clutter. Because you live in your house, there's stuff everywhere. Yeah. It's just the nature of living there.
Kind of supposed to be cluttered, I think.
You got your stuff out. That's how it is.
Yeah, it's humans.
But when you have somebody coming through then they want to buy it and they want to see themselves living there and they want to see their stuff there. They don't want your stuff everywhere because then it clouds their mind, So we'll have people declutter, and then we come back and we take pictures. We send the pictures, and then they say, "Wow, this place looks so nice. I'd buy this house if I saw it online."
It's
it's like, why didn't you clean?
So most of the time, you guys are just showing people how filthy their houses are.
It's a delicate conversation because you don't want to insult anyone, And
have you ever accidentally?
No.
I'm sure I said something. That
what is fascinating is that
you ever been caught on a Ring camera like those?
Not that I'm aware.
You see those firefighters got caught on the Ring camera. The one firefighter, he was like, "This is what happened when we let women vote." and then everybody's like, and he was saying it to a woman. He's like, "See what happens when we let you vote?"
By the way,
it was a joke, obviously.
He probably has a good relationship with that person. He's joking with her.
100%.
But then you get it out of context.
Oh, 100%. And, that guy's good. He's as bad as Dog the Bounty Hunter. He's done. He's done.
I know lots of firefighters personally. That's how they think. 100%.
In fact, they told me that I go, "What do you think about when the water hits the fire?" They're like, "That women vote." I asked them that.
They're like, "I pretend I'm putting out the fire of women voting."
Yeah, they have a burning desire to vote in their heart, and I pretend the water is sizzling it out. That's facts. That's just governmental fact.
Sorry, what were we talking about?
This is the worst one we've ever done. I don't know what happened. I think it's been too long since we've had the team in here.
Oh.
Well, you were talking about how long it takes to prep to sell your house. And, really, we can have it up in a couple of days. It doesn't take that long to prep.
The only things we really recommend that you do prior to selling your home is getting it insurance ready so that the buyer isn't going to have a hard time getting a policy on it. And that can be things like the roof or maybe, and these aren't cheap things, but if you have a roof that's older than 15 years, you're probably going to need to address that. If, there's old electrical panels that may need to be addressed. Sometimes plumbing, if you got polybutylene, that needs to be taken care of. There are things in there that will affect the buyer's ability to get insurance. And if they can't get insurance, it's going to reduce the value of the home. substantially.
Because they can't get a loan.
Right.
Because the bank's going to be like, you have to fix these problems before you can sell this house.
And it therefore decreases the number of buyers and the number of offers you can get on it, and therefore decreases the value.
So if I were doing let's say I'm doing some work around my house and getting it like ready for sale, would you advise me to call 811, Sunshine 811, before digging? That's a question for the chat room. That's a question from Kupo J in the chat room. Kupo J in the chat room wants to know if...
Do you know? Because Crystal, we already talked about it, but Crystal talked like.
I'm kidding.
This is not even the grape. I have a whole different. But
that wasn't even the one.
No, but I called the number. Now my email is flooded
all morning
with companies. They're like, no, don't do nothing.
They're like, stop, leave your house, don't do anything.
Companies I don't even know, like Xfinity is emailing me.
That's your fault for going to a website and entering your information.
Well, you said don't screw this up.
He went to dig.com.
All I told you to do was call the county. You went to some website that you entered your information. Now your information's out there. And
they filled out a form. I talked to a lady.
Never fill out the form.
No, the lady filled out a form. He called a lady, and then
they said it's a legal form.
He yelled at me this morning. I go, hey, I got a bid. And he's like, shut up. He's like, I'm on hold with a lady about digging for my dreams. Did you not yell at me?
Now I'm getting a million emails yelling at me to stop digging, and then I'm getting email. I'm in the system. And now there's going to be people at the house.
Yeah.
They're going to be out there putting up flags.
They're watching you now.
Yeah.
You can't do anything in your house. Now they're watching you.
If there's a flag in the place I'm digging, I'm kicking it over. I'm digging through that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to, there's nothing, no flags going to stop me.
It's been a hard morning here. This lady filled out a digital form for him. Then she said it's going to be months. It could be a month before they get everybody out there to do don't they have to do a diagnostic or a schematic?
Anybody. I'm going to lock the gate. Nobody is allowed in my yard.
I gave him permission.
Yeah, he gave permission
to do whatever they want.
They're going to break the gate. They're going to drive. They're going to drive like a Janet Reno, David Koresh style vehicle through, and they're going to take your guns, and you're going to be back there strumming a guitar, trying to get your wife to all sexy. You're going to be back there singing Santeria, and then the Janet Reno vehicle is going to push the doors of your compound down, and you're going to burn alive.
That's not what I wanted to talk about.
All right. We need to talk about this after, because I'm nervous.
What I did want to talk about is...
Was I not supposed to say that? Kupo, thank you for the assist, buddy.
Is 2 days ago. So 2 days ago, and I loosely discussed the daily plan with Crystal every day, because there's a lot going on. Max has to go to breakdancing.
He's all in on that, man.
And then, there was a scheduled Zoom meeting that me and Crystal planned to attend, and then Zoom.
For breakdancing.
Not for breakdancing, for a different thing.
Gotcha.
And so Crystal's like, all right, this is what we're doing.
Homeowners Association. I got to do a Zoom meeting.
So she's like, also, I want to go see this movie that Pamela Anderson's in.
Is it called I Look Ugly Now?
Don't laugh at that part.
It will kill your business. Did you hear that? Pamela Anderson was like, I got somebody on a plane thought I was the ugly Dixie chick.
Oh, just got 4 firefighter emails I want to sell their house. So Crystal's like, I want to see this new Pam Anderson movie with my sister. And so I'm like, all right. And it's the same time. So she's like,
Baywatch. Old.
You're going to have to take Max to breakdancing. And then she's like, oh, I moved it up. And she's like, so that I can pick up Tommy. So Tommy, because we don't want to leave. We'll leave both kids at the house, but not one. Because it seems like more dangerous to leave one, and they have no experience by themselves.
Very complicated kid system. I can only leave one alone.
Yeah.
Well, they're 9 and 10, and I'm okay if they're together. They're looking out for each other, But if one of them's there, I don't know. Especially Tommy.
Look,
Tommy's like his dad. He's off in the clouds.
You were left alone at that age, right?
I was 100%. I was left overnight at that age.
Yeah. Well, how were you supposed
to fly across the country by herself?
You had your first cigarette at 9.
I was 11.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to smoke so bad lately. Oh God.
Oh, me too.
Let's do it.
Let's all just.
You want to?
Who's got them? I'll start smoking right now.
You want to end this segment, the worst Mark Merrick team segment we've ever done. We should end by going, do you want to sell or buy a house? We smoke cigarettes. Is that good enough for you?
We're smoking up this whole room.
I always wanted to dress like Peg Bundy and like be a Peg Bundy realtor, smoke a
Hold on
long
a second.
cigarette.
That's kind of hot.
That's what I want.
That's low-key
Big
kind of hot.
hair.
Yeah, I know what you want. I know, yeah.
Yeah,
I know what you want. You want to put your hand in your pants and cross that football line.
By the way, I'm mad at Al Bundy. You turn that down. You're like, oh, okay, she wants it again? Who says that?
No.
That's not a thing.
That was the joke.
That was the 80s.
Yeah.
But that shouldn't even be a joke, so I'm mad at that. Anyway. So back to, so there's some scheduling issues. Then Crystal moved her movie up, and then she's like, oh, I moved the movie up, but I realized we have the Zoom meeting to go to. So can you do the Zoom meeting and take the kids?
He can't do Zoom meetings.
To breakdancing and do it all.
He can't do Zoom meetings, though. In there, he tries to do Zoom meetings with our clients, and he's always like, sorry, so we had some internet issues. He lies to them all the time. He's like, he's always lied to them. He's like, I'm sorry, the internet was this, the internet was that. He just can't log in. He doesn't know how to log in.
So throughout my relationship with Crystal...
More of your people are calling for live call.
God damn it.
Thanks for calling a corporate time with Tom and Dan's live call Thursdays that Tom forgot about. Dan speaking. How may I help you?
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Ricky here with Podcast Media.
Hey, what's going on, dude? How are you? What's on your mind?
Oh, doing pretty good. Actually, I know it's funny. You had said that Tom called dig.com, so I actually had to pull it up and check it out, and it actually reverts you straight over to the Walt Disney Company.
Dig.com.
What?
Yes.
What Walt Disney Company?
The Walt Disney Company. There's only one, I think.
It takes you to Disney.com?
Yeah. So if you go to dig.com, Walt Disney owns that.
Weird.
Damned if they do. Yeah, you go to dig.com and it goes right to the Walt Disney Company, and it's a big.
So therefore, Tom, so Tom did not go to dig.com before he did that.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I lie a lot, sir. I'm sorry. Did I burst your bubble?
Making a joke. It was probably like...
Oh, Ricky, I lie a lot, buddy. I'm sorry. 99% of the stuff that I've said on this show is lies. All lies.
Yeah, joking around.
I
because
thought they knew.
Yeah, I think he does. He's just playing around.
Anyway, back to...
All right, get to the gripe already. Jesus.
So, Crystal's like...
she moved her movie. What movie is it, by the way? Can we ask? Or is
it was The Last Showgirl.
Yeah, that was
It's like a little independent film at Pam Anderson.
She get naked?
No.
I don't want to say it then.
Yeah, and also not good. Crystal told me.
Not that good.
I understand the point of it.
Yeah.
So anyway,
is Yasmin Bleeth in it at all?
I don't know who that is.
She's my favorite Baywatch girl.
I tell Crystal, of course I could do all these things because that's what I always say when she asks me, "Can you do this?" Because I can never admit to her that I can't do something or that I'm going to struggle.
Yeah.
Because
or to your sons.
I already know you're going to struggle.
Yeah. Or to your sons, right? You don't
do
admit
anything.
Do you ever admit to your sons your weaknesses?
Never.
Yeah.
I say I could do anything. Whatever you throw at me,
I will
I'll
look
take.
into Maisie's eyes and be like, your father's too weak to get another beer. You need to bring him a beer. He's too weak to get it.
So now, but I knew in the back of my head this is going to be challenging, is going to be rough for me. So Crystal takes off with her sister to go enjoy a movie.
Yeah. Gallivanting across Central Florida.
While I'm in charge of going to the Zoom meeting, taking the kids, both of them, to breakdancing, getting Max on time.
Let me ask you a serious question.
Feeding them dinner, too.
I like to think of myself as an honest person, but let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Is there are they keeping attendance at said Zoom meeting? Or can you just, say you went to it?
No.
It was something we wanted to participate in.
Okay. Crystal's going to ask me, like, what'd you learn? So
can you make it up?
I had to write on the back of my truck registration some details because I had who has pen and paper? Anyway, and then I was worried that I can't use a notepad on my phone because I was afraid that going out of Zoom, then I'd somehow swipe out of it.
Oh yeah, once you're in, you're just stand still.
So is your gripe against me that you cannot handle 3 tasks?
So
That's a legitimate gripe in this building.
So the boys they're playing video games, and I'm like, 10-minute warning, which means nothing to them. So
yeah, we got all day. This guy's soft. Yeah, 10 minutes. Yeah.
So somehow
he's trying to act tough again.
When I yell at them like, "Hey, we're leaving this house. I'm dead serious in 10 minutes. So whatever you want to bring to breakdancing, and Tommy, whatever you want to, because we're going to be sitting in the truck for 2 2 hours. You bring for entertainment. I'm not going to tell you nothing. I'm trying to make them more responsible for their own actions and teach them
by holding them by not holding them accountable. Yeah, I like that.
And then I yelled 5-minute warning or whatever. I'm trying to cook them a pizza because Crystal's she's like, cook them something nutritious. Then I got lost in TikTok.
That's the truth.
Only had time for pizza.
Yeah, that's fine.
So
it's toast.
And then I'm like, it'll be done. They can eat it in the truck, whatever. So I'm like, 3-minute warning, and then they're like, what? And
what?
And then
where are we going?
And so I take the pizza out.
They're naked, right? Just in their little. They're in underoos.
Boxers.
Yeah, little boxers running around.
Because I got to get on the Zoom meeting at 6:00 sharp, and then so I'm like, and I needed to be in the Zoom meeting in the truck on the ride to the because I don't want to be like in the Zoom meeting while I'm trying to get in the car. It's
refresh my memory. What is the Zoom meeting?
Well, it's
it was just something that we had to participate in the other day.
It's
a dream that they'll never accomplish. That's what I'm hearing.
It's all dreams.
It's the old sailboat.
It's all some cockamamie dream with me and Crystal.
It's like, hey, we bought a timeshare.
Oh God.
Anyway, so so then I get the pizza out. I'm like, oh, we gotta be in the car. I gotta get on the Zoom meeting. Matt can't find his shoes, and he's like, where's my water bottle?
I bought the timeshare.
I'm like, we don't need water. We didn't drink water in the 80s. Get in. And then I put the pizza on the oven. I'm cutting it up.
No, I know.
And then so I just put down paper towels because I couldn't find anything to cut the pizza on.
Sounds terrible.
So I'm cutting. I put it on paper plates. I put it in my car, and then I go get in the truck, and then I get on the Zoom meeting, and then people are popping up, whatever. And I clicked like no audio, no video.
Yeah.
Partly because I didn't want them to see. I thought it was unprofessional if they see me driving in a Zoom meeting.
Is this the Fairville of of course?
No, you can't say that.
Oh,
I didn't tell Crystal about that, by the way. The Fairville thing you're going to is
it's a of course. we signed you and Andrea for a jump course.
What?
It's fine. It's fine.
Daniel wrote a song about it.
Yeah, it's fine. Anything I write a song about, it's fine.
Anyway, so I get in. I click no audio or video because I don't want to have them see me driving because that's unprofessional. You see some guy driving. He's the only one. Everybody else is at a desk, and then some guy's in his car. So I just yeah. So then I click no audio video. Then I put it on my dash. I'm driving to breakdancing. Right, kids are eating.
Are you able to listen to anything you need to listen to for Crystal?
I'm trying. Yeah, they're talking. But at the beginning of the meeting, they start going through like everybody else has their picture up, their video on, and then they're like, okay, here's this person, and then during the middle of the drive, they're like, who's this iPhone 7 08 or whatever? Starts reading off
who's this guy? He's probably driving with his kids in the car.
And then I'm like, oh, Tom Van checking in.
Tom Van, I want to be
and they're like, who is it? And then I'm like, Tom Van. I forget that I'm on mute. Right?
Oh, Grandpa.
So they're like, all right, we're gonna disconnect this person if they don't identify themselves.
No, there goes my dream, my sailboat dream.
So I grab the
Disney
phone.
Vacation Club going out the window.
I'm driving right down 436, hauling ass. I got my kids in the back, and then I'm looking at
this guy's not serious about marathons. Hang up on him.
So then I'm like, how the hell do I go off of mute? Right? So then I'm trying to press the
Alexa on mute.
I keep making the screen smaller, bigger, smaller.
All while driving.
Yeah. I'm looking at it, then I'm like, oh my God, I slammed on the brakes one time because the person stopped in front of me.
Yeah, Max dropped his pizza.
So then I find it, like right before, they're like, all right, I'm going to give you 3 seconds to identify yourself. Or we're
Identify yourself or no sailboat instruction for you.
Or like, we're going to kick you off the Zoom call. I finally figure out how to get off mute, right? Then, so then I get on.
Are you screaming like, help?
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, Tom Van. Like, oh, okay,
we got you. You're accounted for.
So I start doing the meeting, and then I'm driving, and then
Pornhub Anonymous. Thank you for checking in, Tom.
We get to the place, the breakdancing place, and then Tommy and Max Max is like, oh, I'm late. So Max gets out of the car, and then I'm telling Tommy, I'm like, oh, there's pizza crumbs everywhere. I'm like, God, like you barely ate too, whatever. I'm yelling at them, and then they're like, oh, what? They stop the meeting. They're like, what? So, iPhone 7, you're not unmuted. We can hear everything you're saying.
Stop abusing your children.
So I have to go back.
God. I didn't know about this. That's so embarrassing.
You did not need to scream at your children.
And then I'm like, oh, sorry. And then I couldn't figure out how to get it off mute. So
it's going to be hard to teach you how to raise a mainsail if you're that angry.
So then, after all of this, I was like, man, that was stressful. But I did it. I went through the meeting. I got the kids dinner, got them the pizza,
breakdancing,
got them to
breakdancing.
You know, like I'm GD Father of the Year.
Yeah.
You know, like
you're a regular Mel Gibson.
I bet. I bet I'm going to get handsomely rewarded for this because I took all the responsibilities.
You're three-task dummy.
Yeah. I cooked the pizza.
Three-task dummy.
He's three-task dummy. He can do three tasks.
It's pretty good.
Pretty normal stuff.
I can't do it. I can't do three tasks.
I took That's what I base everything on. I'm like, I don't
do. Ask Andrew if I can handle one task. I can't.
And then I'm like, I bet Chris is going to be like, you know what? You've been unbelievable today.
You know what? Drop trowel. You know what? Let's do this.
And then all of a sudden I get a text message, right? I'm like, oh, this is going to be my reward or maybe some.
Yeah, maybe it's an eggplant emoji.
Maybe some photo of like, this is what you're going to get tonight.
Well, maybe it's that emoji face with the guy that's like a shocked wow face. Like, my mouth over.
Yeah. Then with little water emojis squirting out. I know what that means.
Some sprinkles. When I get an eggplant followed by sprinkles, I'm like, yeah.
I know what the sprinkles are. By the way, you need to make white sprinkles for.
Oh God! Come on.
Yeah, I'm just saying that's what everybody uses it for. Why don't the phone companies know?
Yeah, I mean, I certainly don't use that for taking a shower, Andrea. You know, like, let me put some sprinkles on.
And then, so it's a picture. I'm like, oh, is it maybe a sexy picture or something?
Hey.
And then I click on the picture, and it's a close up of the top of her oven with a slice in it in the glass. And then she's like, I told you.
Multiple slices in the glass. He cut the pizza
on slice glass.
He cut the pizza on the glass top, and now there's cuts all in it.
Yeah.
So, but he does it all the time, and I tell him, "Are you using a knife on this? There's cuts all over this." And he's like, "No, I'm not." But this time he left.
You lie.
This time he left the pizza and the foil there, and I saw it all cut. You know, and I've been blaming the cleaning lady because she uses a blade to scrape.
Consuela.
It wasn't her. It was you.
It was not me. He's Mr. Van.
I love blaming the cleaning lady. I'm like, you stole your stuff. So
who freaking uses a knife on the top of the glass cooker?
Well, who designs an oven where you can easily cut the top of the glass?
That's what a cutting board is for.
What of a pizza cutter? You have a pizza cutter?
Why
are you using a steak knife to cut your pizza? What are you, an animal?
Well, it shouldn't be that easy to cut through glass. If someone said, hey, you can easily cut through glass,
I'd be doing it all the time.
Do people know that? Like I thought glass was like as strong as anything else.
No, that's Gorilla Glass. You got to get Gorilla Glass.
Anyway, so I did not get rewarded. All this
chat room checking in.
Yelled at about cutting the glass.
Nothing worse than expecting a picture of Big Naturals and instead getting shamed for ruining an oven.
Listen, I don't know how many people out there live with a preteen boy. But that is my experience.
What, you're a preteen boy?
He's it's like everything he does like the first time he's ever done it. He just doesn't know.
Everything?
He puts stuff, like he'll take a liquid thing in a cardboard box and put it on its side to fit it in the fridge, and then it will leak out everywhere. And he'll be like, "Oh, I didn't think that was."
Well, you put like cardboard milk on it. What are you?
No, like a to-go container with oil in it or something. You know what I mean? Like from
to like set it sideways.
Yeah. Well, just without thinking, like, oh, it's going to drip out the side. It's open or. Cutting on a glass top. You want to shame me?
You don't.
I could shame you right now.
Whoa!
Let's go. How much time do I have?
Yeah, you have as much as you want. You're part owner of this company, ma'am.
A lot of people are like me, and I've learned this throughout the years of doing the show. They say I'm just like you, Tom.
But I think you're fueling it though, because I think these people figure out that there is a play where you're like, I can just walk in and put the container in sideways because I just don't care.
No, it's
right.
No, it's not that I don't care.
People, but I'm not saying
I'm just
you
in
do.
a hurry.
I'm not saying you do. I'm saying that some people probably use that as an excuse, right?
Back to the digging.
Yes, you have the floor.
I begged him,
you have
please. In all these other situations where things are a little like we have a cut on the glass now, we got oil spilling in the fridge. These are all things we can handle. Do not hire a company to come and dig where the storm drain goes through our yard because the storm drain goes right there. So now there's going to be a company in there digging with a big auger or something, and they're going to break the storm drain, and we're going to be the ones have to.
Are you calling this?
Multiple times.
Are you calling this now? Well, let's make a bet. What happened? Let's call it now because you've never been able to have any type of retaliation when these things happen.
Well, he won't do it now that it's out. He won't do it now.
Oh,
now he won't.
I don't think you know him well enough. I think no free will. I think he can't not do it. He already called him. He yelled at me this morning. He never yells at me. This morning, he's like, "Shut up! I'm on the phone with a lady," and I'm like, "Whoa, he means business." He's never said that to me ever.
Like when you buy a house, you get a survey, right? On your survey, it tells you where the utility lines are buried. It tells you where your easements are. On our survey, it literally says that this is, there's a 10-foot easement. There's utilities running there. And there have been multiple occasions, at least 5, where he was digging in the backyard and he cut either our cable or our internet.
I told him, but I know
every
where
time the same spot, and you still do it again.
Well, the line snakes through our yard.
Yeah, so you're like, maybe I won't hit it this time.
It'll fly as it goes, as a crow flies.
There's no straight lines there. I've seen what he's talking about. He's wacky.
But I'm way over, and this I know. You know how much time I spent in the backyard. I know the lay of the land.
She knows.
I know
she
every
knows how much time you spend back there trying to avoid her. Thanks for calling a corporate time. Who's this?
My name's Walter. I got to be honest with you guys. You ain't going to believe this, but I'm from Illinois as well.
No, you're not.
I think they had an Illinois bowl.
You're the same guy. You're the same guy.
All right, Walter.
You're the same guy.
Hold on. Let me ask you a question. Does your old lady yell at you for constantly making mistakes over and over, seemingly the same ones, no matter how much she's told you to stop doing it?
Well, I can be honest with you. This is going to be kind of a shocker. She's been gone for about 6 years.
Oh, this guy's really laying into the new persona.
What'd she die of?
Anytime somebody projects, I got to be honest with you, it's a tell that you're lying to me with a new persona.
What'd she die of?
Well, boys, she actually died in a car wreck. But the thing is I actually got dared to call in. I lost a bet.
Uh-oh.
I'm confused.
He died. Car wreck.
I'm confused about what's happening.
It's Tom thought of an idea last week. He's like, hey, every Thursday at 1 p.m. we're going to do live call Thursdays. And then this week he forgot about it. And now we're trying to do the segment with our beloved Bart Merritt team, but people are calling in and doing their...
But was that the same guy?
Yes, it was the same guy.
So you have one guy who's calling.
Yeah, this guy calling thinks that he's circa late 90s, early 2000s Daniel and Blackbean, and he's now calling up to do a bunch of wacky voices. This is the prison. This is the prison I have created, and this is why I'm going to therapy at 3 today, and we'll talk to her. She'll make me hold my heart center and be like, I am good enough. I am okay. And breathe out and try to not kill myself.
Bart, do you ever experience anything? Like, I know that the one time you burned down your red wagon.
You burned down your wet wagon.
Like, did your wife, say, look, you left the fireworks on and it burned your red wagon down? Did she mention it, or she's like,
You'll get it one day.
No, she didn't care.
Yeah.
Cleaned it up.
It doesn't affect her. That didn't affect her, maybe. Maybe that's why she didn't care.
Yeah. Didn't,
I think
you ever cut up your stove?
I think Andrea is unaffected by a lot of what I've done because I've done so much of it so rapidly.
Yeah.
That I've desensitized her to...
Yeah, she's overwhelmed with the...
I think so.
The things.
But she's taking the responsibilities away and just does it herself, right? That's what I want.
I just exist in her universe. I literally have no influence or power.
Okay, that's what I want.
Yeah, I'm just kind of there. Anything I say, she will appease and listen to, but it has zero value. Any decision that's made is her decision.
But that's the problem.
She has control of all money.
When I hear, for instance, when we went down to Naples recently and Crystal was tasked. Crystal usually is the vacation planner of our family because she does a good job at it. So she was she's like, I couldn't find any Airbnbs, and this is our plan, right? And
so I booked you in the Ghost of Bubba haunted house.
So what I'll do is I don't like that plan, and then I'll passively aggressively say well, I'll take a look.
That's what I do.
To see if
that's what I do to Andrea because she's too stupid to do it right.
It's an insult.
That's what she hears when you say that. That's what I hear when
I just say what I mean. I don't sugarcoat it.
Yeah, see, he sugarcoats.
I don't say it to Andrea. I'll just be like, hey, let me take a look. But what I mean is, let me take a look. You're too stupid to do it.
Yeah, but then you take a look, and it's exactly what you said, right? Because she knows better than you.
Yes, and Crystal knows better than you.
Yeah, and that's what ends up happening. I'm like, what about this one? She's like, I looked at that one already.
Yeah, you're an idiot. I looked at that 5 days ago.
Yeah. Then we get to a point where I'm like, oh, well, then you just go do it.
And she does.
Yeah. But then when we're, walking through a halfway house and there's roaches in the...
That was a mistake.
You're allowed one. You're allowed a mistake.
Every now and then,
Yeah.
It's not every day.
You're allowed, and you know what? You have a lot to do. Like having to clean up all of his mistakes, you're bound to make at least one. And everybody could have stayed there. You would have been fine.
You know how happy I am when Crystal makes a mistake?
I know, because it's the first thing I'll hear about. You'll be like, oh, I got a great story.
And then, then I have to weigh in my head. I'm like, should I mention how?
I mentioned them all. Yeah.
But I was like, this could go poorly for
I used to ask Andrea, I was like, can I talk about that on the show? But now I don't ask anymore. Now I do know that I have deteriorated my relationship a bit. I have. I played it a little loose, and I can tell now I've done some damage that I'm going to have to. Well, it can't be repaired. It can't be repaired.
Felt good to tell that story. I've been holding that for a minute. So back to houses. Now, if you want to buy a house, is it the same kind of window as far as like everybody's going to be starting putting their houses up for sale spring, early summer, and so that's the time you're looking?
Yeah, naturally, if there's
buying.
more listings, then the buyers are going to have more options. So it's a good time for buyers to buy too.
It's all based on the school year. It's the idea is you want to buy a house before the summer hits, the kids get out of school, so that they get settled, and then they get enrolled in the new school in the fall.
Gotcha.
It also kind of follows a northern model where, like way up north, they don't typically sell real estate when there's snow on the ground, or at least most people don't buy. They wait until it falls.
Yeah.
So it kind of follows that trend as well.
How's the market doing as far as like?
That was a question in the chat room. People want to know kind of where we're at in layman's terms with pricing.
The seller's market, buyer's market, a little bit of both?
It's probably a buyer's market slightly now. It probably moved over a little. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
It was definitely a seller's market coming out of COVID and shifted now with rates. Since rates are kind of stuck around 6-ish or so right now.
Yeah.
And that's where they've been for a while. There's a matter of people who are starting to sell as a fact of attrition, meaning they just have to, like their job changes.
They can't wait anymore. They're not waiting for rates to come down anymore. They're not waiting for these big changes.
So we're getting that's coming back a little bit. There's still going to be the lockup of people who have a 3.5% mortgage, and they're just not they're not going to refi or get into anything else at 6+.
Right.
So there's going to be those people that are just stuck. But you also have first-time home buyers who are stepping in because to them this is just what they know. We have a client right now who's real young, just graduated from college, buying a small condo, and this is what he knows that the rates aren't. It's just that's what it is.
Right.
So they're buying. I will say last year's the best year we had since COVID started. It's definitely the first year we saw where it picked back up for us. We did just over 10 million last year. Typically pre-COVID we were doing about 13 million. So in its worst we did I think 8?
7. 7.5 or something.
2 years ago or a year or two ago back. So
13 million. Why am I still working?
I know, right? Yeah.
That's all I heard.
I hear numbers like that. I'm like, oh my god, that's island money.
Yeah. Why am I still doing this?
Yeah, let's buy TikTok.
Telling these stories, making myself look like a buffoon.
But I think this year is going to be it'll be better than was last year. So I do expect it to pick up more. I think this fall will be a good time if you need to sell to do it. We're definitely getting a lot more calls during the winter this year to sell into the spring than we did last year.
Okay.
So that's definitely a tell. I think another year or two from now, there's probably going to be a pretty good opportunity in the condo market in Florida. Condos are coming down price-wise more so than single families are. And you see that largely because of the HOA fees and the new requirements too. And I'm sure Daniel knows about this here in Baldwin.
We're fighting them. That was my Zoom meeting I was mentioning. I have to get on there, and basically they're trying to roll the price of a new roof or the litigation aspect of that. They want us to pay for court costs. And I already told Andrea, like, I'm at the age where I'm willing to do things to have them put liens on my house because I don't care. I just want to see what happens. You know, I'm like, I'm not paying that. They're like, well, we want you to pay for the fact that we had to take this to an attorney, yada yada. I'm like, I'm not paying that. That was on you. You pay that. And Andrea's like, well, you have to pay it. I'm like, I don't want to pay it.
You got to build a big trash middle finger.
Yes, aluminum foil. You build an aluminum foil middle finger and you put it on the roof of your townhome.
Yeah. Just have them fine you, and then you're like, who cares?
Yeah, it is a bit of a mess in it.
They will take your home eventually, though.
Yeah, that's fine.
But it takes a long time. You waste your time.
I don't want you to give other people the advice to do that.
I don't even want to live there.
You'll be dead by then.
Yeah, I will.
Like,
I'm on a 3-year plan right now with these hips. I should be out of here in about 2.5. 2.5 years.
There's actually a condo complex not far from here, just a mile over on 436.
Winter Woods?
Winter Park Woods, I think. That their HOA fees went from, I believe a 3-bedroom last year was $800 a month, which sounds incredibly high to me.
Yeah, oh my God.
Well, if you saw this place, it's literally falling down. Like, I am surprised it's not condemned because it's in rough
shabby
shape.
Shabby chic.
I saw a condo come up for sale in there. It was either yesterday or the day prior. With the new HOA fee for 2025 that went from $800, and I don't know if this is right or not because it blows my mind, to $3,371 a month. $3,371.
Yeah, that was the 3-bedroom. The 2 bedrooms HOA was like $2,018.
Oh my God!
I pay 2. I pay a monthly, and then I pay a townhome bi-yearly, maybe.
Yeah, but it's not $3,000 a month.
No. And they do a lot.
And listen, these condos, by the way, if you're not familiar with the area, they are they sell for $125,000.
Yeah.
So they are not nice, fancy amenities galore.
It's not a nice complex. They found a dead
nice
body in the dumpster over there a couple of years ago.
Yeah. Well, that's where they belong. You don't want to put them in the. You don't put them in the actual unit. Hey, take that dead body and put it in the dumpster. We got people coming in.
I was running by there yesterday.
Yeah.
I pretended to lock the doors on my car.
What's going to happen is in some of those older complexes in Florida, though, where they're seeing the fees go up like that, what you're now getting is investors who are now stepping in and just buying up those units. And what they want to do is get to a threshold where they then control the vote on the HOA, which makes it a lot easier for them to put rules and put things into effect that makes it easier for them to acquire more, and then eventually just plow the property, put something new up, make a bunch of money doing it that way.
Huh.
And what sucks for those people too is there's a lot of people living there that bought those that are fixed income, who are used to paying $800 a month for HOA fee, and now it's going up to $2,500 more. You just can't afford to do that. It makes the property worthless.
That's you've seen that in a lot of condos recently, especially after the condo collapse, and
that's what started all of this.
Yeah. Everybody is like, they're putting pressure on us to do repairs and do all the stuff we've been kicking down the road.
Special assessments going crazy, yeah.
And then but this is a great reason why you should use the Bart Merrick team.
They know
they have experience, and this is something they can warn you about if you're looking to buy condos. You know what I'm saying? That's why if you use an unexperienced realtor, it could screw you because they are not going to warn you about all these things, and they may okay, I could do the paperwork to buy a house, and then you buy a condo that has $2,000 a month.
It's as simple as this. I have, and you have. We've worked with bad realtors before. Yeah. And it's a disaster. Don't do that.
It costs you money.
It will. Work with the Bart Merrick team. They're kind. They'll help you out. They'll answer your questions. Yeah, super smart.
So anyway.
Houses are still moving under 350. Anything under 350 that's in decent shape sells real quick nowadays. We're probably seeing average price points closer to around 4 and change, low 4s. Around Central Florida, it's becoming more and more common to sell $500,000 property. I remember when I got into this 13 years ago, our average price point was like $175,000 to $200,000, on a house. Now we're $500,000 on about half the stuff we sell.
Yeah, I remember when houses used to be $200,000, and I used to think like, oh man, if I could only get to. I remember looking at a house in Orlando. It was like $210,000, and I'm like. This is a mansion.
Yeah.
Like I could
the 210 price point was the one that I could never hit. And I was always like, man, I'll never live in that. My first home, brand new, Miranda home, $96,000 brand new.
Yeah.
I had a $480 house payment.
We're not talking the 70s. We're talking like what, late 90s?
No, early 2000s.
Early
2000.
After 9/11.
You know what? It would have been 04.
Okay.
04 when I bought my first home. Yeah. $480. Yeah, 1580.
Yeah.
It was a 1580. 2.5 bath, 3-bedroom.
Crazy.
Yeah, with a big back patio.
Those days are gone.
Yeah. Ship has sailed. We got to get out of here, buddy.
It's the Bart Merrick team, barttherealtor.com. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, appreciate y'all. We will see you Monday.